Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you? And welcome to the How Did This Get Made holiday live stream, our annual tradition. We are not live from a theater, we are not live from anywhere more than our homes. And what a great place to spend our holidays with our homes and our loved ones. And today we are joined by the old crone herself. That's right. Jessica St. Clair from all of our holiday episodes. So we're so excited to have her coming up in a little bit. But we want to make tonight special. We appreciate you being here. We're so excited that we are still doing pandemic style shows way after the pandemic. But because tonight is a holiday show, we wanted to celebrate holidays past. And one of the episodes that we once did on this show was I believe it was called a Nutty Christmas with Melissa Joan Hart, where she wishes for a boyfriend, and then a nutcracker comes to life, and they have sex. And during the middle of that episode, somebody had said, "Wouldn't it be great if this is actually a horror movie where this nutcracker is out to kill Melissa Joan Hart?" And so Avril Halley, our amazing movie picking producer, she took this idea and she ran with it, and she created an A24 trailer for A Nutty Christmas. So enjoy this scary Nutty Christmas.
It's 12 days before Christmas, and Kate's a little wrapped up in her work.
Dancing Flowers Bakery, how can I make your day sweeter? You want to double your cookie order.
But when things go from bad...
Sorry, Kate, but that's the way the relationship crumbles.
to worse.
Santa Claus just broke up with me.
Now, Kate's about to find out
I have something special for you.
that not everything is as it appears.
Fröhliche Weihnachten.
Hello, Nutcracker. It's nice to see you again.
You should have just asked me for the money rather than renting out a room in your house to a total stranger.
You know, I was running late. I came down the stairs. I tripped over him. He was sleeping on the floor. Yeah, and you know what? He wasn't scheduled to arrive until tomorrow.
The story is about a man who came to this country not knowing anyone, and the kindness of a woman who brought him into her home.
This guy staying at your house? What did he look like? Was he dressed like the Nutcracker?
I am the Nutcracker, and on Christmas Eve I will rise up and fight the Mouse King. Kate, what's going on? We need to talk.
Oh, what do you want to talk about? How you lured your way into my house?
Even when someone's not there, doesn't mean they're not with you.
He's the wooden Nutcracker come to life. Were you ever going to tell me this is not real?
You may not think this is real, but it's the most real I've ever been. Maybe I'm here because we need each other.
Not now. Not ever. Because you can't be trusted.
I was ready to fight!
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
There it is, A Nutty Nutcracker, an A24 special film. Let me tell you, Avril Halley, we love her. She had a very, very tough year kicking cancer's ass, and we are so happy to know that she is doing better every single day. She has been just absolutely amazing, and we just want to send her the best, most love and good wishes after this crazy, really hard year. We love Avril, and we love doing the show, and we want you to be a part of tonight's show. So when it comes time to hear from you, we want your questions. If you are a postal worker, if you are a relative of Santa Claus, if you have any questions at all about this movie that we will not cover, we will give you a chance to ask those questions later on in the show. So get those questions in now, because we're not just going to let you just pick questions that, willy-nilly. We're gonna screen them. We're gonna pick them good. I have our producer Molly Reynolds out there. I have Scott Sun out there looking through everything, making sure that we are going to get the best questions. No duds in the virtual show. Also, we are blown away by the amount of submissions that people sent in for second opinion songs. And here's why I love our second opinion songs. Everyone delivered an 18 to 30 second opinion song. So great job there. I love it all. What else do I have to tell you? Oh, I am wearing our Geostorm Christmas sweater, which I don't think is available anymore. But this year, we do have Team Fred and Team Sanity pint glasses. We also have How Did This Get Made wrapping paper. You can actually even get a copy of my book with a special How Did This Get Made message inside, including a special bookmark, all on our Pod Swag store. That's how we're celebrating Christmas this year, with big sales. So wrap your gifts in me, Jason, and June. It would be frightening, honestly. All right, people, we're getting ready to start the show, but I have one more thing to say. I also want you to be thinking throughout the show about what a good shirt might be, because we will create an original shirt based on tonight's show, Christmas Mail. And I can't hear your reaction, but I guess I can look at it in the chat. I hope everybody watched Christmas Mail. Christmas Mail is an important movie. I hope that you watch it. If you have not watched it, don't worry. It's going to be pretty easy to explain. But if you haven't watched it, or if you maybe watched it a little while ago, here is a chance to catch up on it as we play the trailer for Christmas Mail.
Matt has a job.
Matt, there's no slacking at the U.S. Postal Service. We got 4 weeks till Christmas.
Emily has a wish.
Dear Santa, I live with my uncle, but he's all alone except for me, and I think he needs a friend. Can you help my Christmas wish come true? Love, Emily.
Christy has a secret.
What's going on in here?
I'm on special assignment from corporate. You didn't get the memo?
Nope. No memo. But when Christmas spirit is in the air...
Dear Emily, maybe the family you want is closer than you think. Love, Sam.
Everyone has a chance.
I found the perfect girl for you.
Nobody wants to date a single mailman with a kid.
Well, then just don't unload it all at once.
What's your take on this Santa letter girl?
She's a really nice person.
Nice? You have to get me something I can use against this girl.
Do you want to come to dinner tonight?
Tonight. Yes.
Mar Vista Entertainment presents a story about finding your way.
Okay, let's grab these bags and let's get him on the truck now.
No, I haven't answered those.
Just talk about this for a second.
The only reason he was hanging out with you is to get me answers on who you actually are.
It's not like it sounds.
Why would you do this to me?
Well, if you go out that door, yeah, you'll be back on the streets.
Taking a stand.
If you give up on everything that you love, what are you going to have left for that little girl in there?
What about Christy?
Christy's gone. I just don't think she wants to see me.
Let's talk about Matt.
I can't trust him.
Matt is a good man, Christy.
And chasing your dream.
He's gone on the road.
When?
Now.
Emily really likes you, and I will never, ever hurt you.
Christmas Mail.
I'm glad that we existed in that logo for just a beat there, just to take it in, because nothing says Christmas more than a sunny, beachy day in Mar Vista. All right. We are doing this show virtually. You can watch it anywhere around the world. Last spring, we went overseas. We went to London. We went to Ireland. We went to Scotland. This spring, we are going to the middle of the country and to the West Coast. We have a big tour coming up. Tickets are available right now. The pre-sale code is bonkers. And you can see us in Boise, Idaho, in San Francisco, in Seattle, in Austin. I'm forgetting the other places, but I think we're in 6 cities, and we're ending it all up in LA for a very, very big show to celebrate 15 years of doing this show. 2025 will be our 15th year doing the show. So please come out on the road and see us live. We will have a lot of fun. If you live in those towns, I mean, don't come to see us in Boise if you live in Detroit. I feel like that would be far away. All right. So here we go. Are you ready for a show? All right. I am excited for this. Here we go. I'm gonna say my little line and we're going to cut into the theme song. But I guess you don't know that. You're going to see it. It's going to be great. All right. Here we go. Oh, not yet. No, I got to say my little line first. Here we go. This is where you're going to see. This is the fun of it. Tech mistakes. We're not going to have them. This is before the show hasn't started yet. So far, there's not been any tech mistakes. Right now, we're fine. Matt, don't take that on. All right, here we go. Ho, ho, ho is what Santa said when he saw his daughter in this film. We saw You've Got Christmas Mail. So you know what that means.
How did Schwarzenegger grow a baby in his belly? Rock a rhinestone vest while ripping Justin to Kelly. Or maybe see a burlesque show with Nick Crow and take a boat with speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul in the beautiful June. Gonna take you from the goob all the way to the room. Ran the games of Street Fighter, helped to blow off steam. Just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Sharknado, the birdemic, how we staying alive. They call it in the badass and he's on the line. Cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice. Cause a bad Jim Varney looking kind of nice. Paul and June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They judge a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made?
Again, that's the ugly truth.
That's a good look, Haru.
Oh, people of Earth, and I mean that because this is going out all around the world. Welcome to our virtual live show of Christmas Mail, aka You've Got Christmas Mail. And I got to tell you, this movie came out in 2010, and there is very little information about how it was made. We have a little bit, but not much. All I can tell you is this. This is a movie about a mysterious woman who comes to town to write letters from Santa to all the children in this small beachside community and gets mixed up in some postal intrigue and reinvigorates a man who has been left with a child that he may or may not should have had. But love is in the air and Santa is watching over everyone. It's also a movie that if you told me was funded by the United States Postal Service, I believe you. All right, we have a lot to break down tonight, and let's do it by bringing in my two co-hosts. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh, welcome. What's up, jerks?
What's up, Jason?
Oh.
Yes, what was that? What was that?
What? It's a little candlestick.
Oh, I love that.
It's my little candlestick for Christmas that I walk around with at Christmas time. Oh, what have you got? Drinking out of Santa's. Whoa, is that a tiki Santa?
It's a little tiki Santa. Now, Jason, I know you're.
Whoa.
This movie, wow.
This is like the movie that it seeks to answer the question: what could you do with unfettered access to a U.S. postal facility?
I want to talk about the Postal Service because I got a lot of thoughts about it. But there is somebody that truly does have a lot of thoughts about the United States Postal Service. Somebody who has some bold opinions about it. Now, I have not heard what she has to say about this movie, but please welcome my other co-host, June Diane Rayfield.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Jason. How are you?
I am good. How are you doing, June?
Oh, man alive. This was a
Did you finish it? Mere moments ago, you had to watch one more minute.
Just seconds ago, I had another browser up while we were doing our tech check, and I finished the montage of them in the postcards that I guess were sent back to one of the postal workers. We need to start Okay, enough of your chit chat bullshit, Paul. We need to get started. And I just want to say,
ready.
I was, just so you know, Jason, what Paul's referring to is for a while, I thought that taxpayer dollars were funding our postal system.
You would think I would have thought the same, because I myself started wondering, why do they keep calling it corporate? Why?
So
this is the government, is it not?
Well, yes and no, and I think that's the tricky. There's such a gray area to the postal service, and I know.
Should we single June and take us out?
Yeah,
I know we want to bring on our guest, but
just talk
for
to
a
this.
while. I was like, why isn't universal healthcare right, and why are we paying in? Like, let UPS and FedEx battle it out. Like, what is this? But it is a self-funded organization, but it is also a part of the government and paid for by first-class stamps. But anyway,
you were saying for a long time, defund the Postal Service.
And by the way, I still feel that way.
And I will say that you said it so much that we were given an ornament of a United States postal truck as like a, June, maybe you should come over to...
I still don't fully have an understanding, do either of you, of how the post office, because I know they're in debt.
Well,
this was the curtain being pulled back for me to see how the sausage is made.
Corporate center.
Yes,
I am corporate.
And the guy, the boss man, who is, I mean, it's as if he's in the most important job in the country for mail service. That he's such a villain. He said they call him a Grinch, but he seems to think he's powerfully important.
I got to tell you, get ready, because later in the show I'm going to reveal some things. There is not a lot of information about this movie, but there's a lot of post office workers who have a lot of opinions about this film.
I cannot wait.
So we will break into that.
Because and let's bring our guest on, Paul.
I'm going to.
I just want to say
that was my segue.
I know, but I want to bring her on.
But hang on.
But hold on. The one thing I just want to say is, you mentioned, unfettered access to a postal facility, but I truly do wonder if the post office, in order to pay for some of its debt, because it's running at quite a deficit, is trying to rent out spaces.
Well, there is actually, and before we bring out our guests, I know we have to bring out our guests. There was a show, I was obsessed with it, paid for by the United States Postal Service, an hour-long drama like a CSI Law and Order.
What?
I just was going to text Molly.
Wait, what are you talking about? Someone in the chat just said that the post office lost $7 billion last year.
Okay, we're going to get,
That's
you know
what
what?
I'm saying.
We need to get our guest out here. Molly, if you can find those clips, we will pull them up. But please welcome a holiday staple, How Did This Get Made all-star, our fourth player, if you will. Yeah. Bring her out. You know her as a crone. You also know her as a co-host of the Deep Dive.
So crazy to hear you welcome my dear friend as a crone. Okay, go ahead.
Jessica St. Clair. Welcome, Jess.
Oh, hello.
Where's that
big
crone?
I'm big of that big. I'm big of that big crone energy. Yeah.
That BCE.
Guys, I want to reveal something, because I feel like I have to disclose this. My grandfather,
you've never mailed.
May he rest in peace, was a postmaster general.
Whoa!
Of Scranton, Pennsylvania. This is not the same side that has the Fabergé eggs. This is the other
side.
Okay. I was going to say, how could a postmaster general afford all those Fabergé eggs?
Or maybe they can.
Maybe they can. It was a very influential. It was a very influential position. And let's just say we had ties in Scranton to the mob because of that.
Oh my God!
Wait,
this is outrageous! Outrageous claims. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are not connected to the mafia. This is minute one, and you're spinning a whole.
This is the start of a new podcast, an investigative podcast of a local Scranton postmaster general gets mixed up in the mob.
Guys, do you remember the movie?
Say more.
Do you remember the movie where Scorsese made what's his face young, and it was very upsetting?
Yes, The Irishman.
The Irishman. Okay. and he has an interaction with the rag man, who was like the head of the mob. I'm telling you, in
Okay.
Scranton, my grandfather, that was his best friend. Okay. And that is why my grandfather, even when he should not have been driving and had many car wrecks, was allowed to keep driving because of his influence with the rag man.
Okay, you have to stop saying the rag man.
The rag
I need
man.
I need you to stop saying
true.
the words
Well,
the rag man.
Well, I'm surprised because I do think of the United States Postal Service, as much as I've called for the defunding of the entire organization.
Yes.
But as I do think of them as pretty clean in terms of, the organization. Like, what are you paying off? What kind of business what kind of cash is being exchanged with the mob and for what?
How do you think those supermarket flyers get in your mailbox? They're working out deals with Wegmans and Gelson's and Wallbounds. They're like, hey, you give me a...
Hey, forget about it. The rag man's gonna make it all go away. We're getting rich off of mail shenanigans.
The Buffalino crime family stole all those Publishers Clearinghouse checks, and now we're gonna cash them these big old checks.
Ooh, we're here in Scranton, the locus of all organized crime. Forget
Actually,
about it, the rag man.
It was a very big center of the mob. You know what? Go back and watch the movie, okay?
The Sinclairs get all their mail 3 days before everybody else.
You want to get Jessica St. Clair can send a letter direct to Santa.
Yeah, and by the way,
rag man delivers it.
not only that, June was just almost caught in a scam involving the USPS. Do you remember that, June?
I do. So what happened was, and I guess we'll get to the movie at some point.
I don't remember this. Well, I have one more thing before we get to the movie.
I didn't tell you about this, Paul. But I had seen an advertisement for, I don't want to tell you because you're receiving this, a special stocking stuffer. And it was from Instagram, of course. And I went to the site, I purchased it through Apple Pay. Put it's so easy now. It's so frictionless to make these purchases.
Autofill.
Of course. Uh-oh.
Hey, bingo! Bingo!
Do we have to pay him now?
I purchased.
Bingo's getting a cut.
I purchased a few of these, and I get a
few of what?
confirmation email.
Stocking
I'm not going
stuff?
to tell you some
Okay,
stocking
got it.
stuff.
Find out.
And then I get a text message saying, "We need 1 cent more. The package is being held at the United
That's just
States."
a scam. That's a scam one. I get those all the time.
She almost paid.
Well, I almost paid for it.
And
I don't think the two things are related, June.
She almost paid.
Well,
because I get those all the time. It says, "Oh, your package is held up. We just need a."
And you know who's behind that? The fucking rag man. That's
Hey,
it.
get 1 cent from a million people. You get a million pennies.
Hey, the rag man's here. He's dropping off.
Wait,
he's
so
dropping
what
off
happened?
another dozen Fabergé eggs.
What happened? Oh yeah, Fabergé egg. It's supposed to go to Tiffany's. It's gonna go to my house. Wait. So June, what happened?
Off the truck.
That's it. I consulted with Jessica. I consulted with some friends, and I got some great advice to not click on the link and to not, move forward with it. So
wow.
But it was
I
a very
appreciate that.
concerning text, and I did have the thought ran through my head like 1 cent. Like, does anyone need 1 cent?
No.
It just didn't make sense.
I do. I do want to, before we even get into the movie, show you what I was talking about. This is a clip from The Inspectors, a TV show paid for by the United States Postal Service.
Oh wow!
I get residuals for this.
Are they still taking auditions?
CBS?
One of the best inspectors the agency's ever seen.
If there's anything else you can offer, now is the time.
I told you everything.
There's always more to these scams than meets the eye.
There's a trend that keeps coming up. We gotta test it out.
We can't just look for a criminal.
They're gonna be looking for us.
That's it.
This could have turned into an ugly situation.
I'm gonna walk again, Mom. And then I'm gonna be an inspector.
What?
Inspectors is a story that allows us to have a vessel to teach the American public about crimes that we deal with at the USPIS, as well as explaining to the American public what an inspector does day in and day out.
Arnold Rock, you're under arrest for mail and wire fraud. Put your hands behind your back.
Hold on a second. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I don't even know what this is
These
about.
were men of honor, and you are not fit to spit shine their boots.
That's Anthony Michael Hall.
Let's go.
It's a much lighter touch in the hopes that we're able to draw an audience that includes both
No, it's not.
younger
Terry
adults
Serpico.
and
This is
Terry
teenagers and preteens and their families. and their
Incredible.
parents.
This is
And I hope
incredible.
This is amazing.
they can
The
watch
inspectors, I
together.
think, lasted for, let's say, 10 years
Spend time
on
with the
CBS.
postal inspectors in the LA area, and they were all so generous
Well,
with their
listen, I do
time
know, I
and
mean-
their instruction, just
All right.
on the very basic
Unfortunately,
ideas
after
of
I
how to
was
run an
really doing
investigation
a
and
lot
what
of my
they do
investigative work,
in the course of a
the-
day and how they put
Matt, you can
together
cut this.
pieces.
Yeah.
Why am I
probably.
being
We've
forced
seen
to
enough.
watch
This
We've seen enough.
that was crushing. I felt claustrophobic. That was like
It's like
God.
CSI for mail.
Listen, we
felt
we
trapped.
have relied very recently in terms of mail-in ballots, and there's some things we rely on the post office for. Although, actually, as I'm saying it, I'm like, aside from mail-in ballots, what couldn't UPS and FedEx handle?
June, do not get you. Do we said we're not getting political in the show? You cannot talk about defunding the USPS.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Why don't we?
Housing.
We need to bring back the Pony Express. Bring it back.
Bring back pigeons. Carrier pigeons.
That's what Mike Tyson's been doing for years.
Yeah.
I do want to. Before we get into the movie, I do want to bring up one thing because there's been a constant rallying cry online. They say, "Why are you not doing Hot Frosty, the Netflix film that came out this year?" And I will say, I like research, so I watched Hot Frosty. It is literally beat for beat the same movie as Snowman's, where the girl puts a scarf on a snowman and the snowman comes to life. It's slightly better than Snowman's in like...
Is that possible?
I mean, that's what I was going to say. I didn't know if there was anything else to say about it. So for those of you wondering, Hot and Frosty, it's we've already done it. I mean, there's different
Well, I mean, I
people
will
in it.
say I don't remember Snowman's. Like
Okay,
you're saying,
there you go.
Remember
that's
most.
something we did.
You
Yeah,
don't
that
remember
sounds-
most things.
I don't.
Here's what I'll say.
is.
I'll say for those people who are upset we're not doing some other movie, get fucked.
Yeah.
Get fucked. There's your T-shirt.
Get fucked. This
Merry
is the movie we're
Christmas.
doing. We did this
Get fucked.
movie.
I will say this, that this movie, Christmas Mail, or We've Got Christmas Mail, however you want, because it has different titles. I love this film right out of the gate because they are shooting clearly in Los Angeles or a sunny Southern California town. And everyone is dressed in winter coats and they
Always.
have no
Yes,
money
it's very
for...
Pasadena coded or Altadena.
Yes.
But they're wearing like winter caps and like there's a plot moment where like the little girl leaves her mitten behind. I was like, why is she wearing a mitten? It's 80 degrees out.
It looks decidedly hot and humid. But what I also love about, and whoever makes these movies, I don't know if this is a Lifetime or a Hallmark film.
Mar Vista.
But I mean, that's not a channel, right? Like, so Mar Vista, they're not paying for extras to say a goddamn thing because that opening scene, and I have this
it was
clip
a
of this.
silent film.
It was. So you basically have people.
There's no audio.
Minute.
There's no audio recording. There's just like library music.
It is. The kids cannot talk in this movie. Like, watch this clip one of just a kid having to, like flag down a postmaster or a post office worker, a mailman, a mail person, June.
Mail carrier.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
And a mail carrier. And they can't say anything. So it's really hard to like stop someone and get their attention just by like this. Let's watch clip one here.
He's waving at it.
Yeah.
And
No-
the guy's
no sound.
Back is turned. His back is turned. There's no way he could see that wave.
Another one.
Yeah,
Can't see that
zero.
wave either.
It's not.
Never
yeah.
could see that wave.
And why does this kid have so many letters to Santa?
Oh, yes. Hey, and he's just just waving.
Cut
Fingerless gloves.
it, Matt.
Oh yeah. None of it makes any sense.
Yes, so there's a lot of extra work throughout this entire film where people really are doing the most without being able to speak or even make sound.
You know, I have so much to say. I guess let's just get right on into it. But
Please.
I really resent this idea that letters to Santa need responses. It offends my Christmas culture.
Wow.
You know, it does.
I never expected. I never, as
Nobody
a child,
does,
expected a
Jess.
response.
I never got a response.
No,
Well,
okay.
no
in
one
this movie,
has.
it's not just a response; it is a
Dialogue.
correspondence.
Yep.
It's
The
back and forth
child
and
Emily is going back and forth with Santa in a way that is misleading, frankly, and dangerous.
I'm sorry, Jason.
Yeah.
She's not going back and forth with Santa. Those letters are not
I'm sorry, she's
from
going
Santa.
to Christie.
No, I
she's
know,
going
but
to Christie is what I mean.
But what I couldn't get to the bottom of is who's Christie signing those letters as?
I believe Santa.
No, she's
No,
not.
She's not? Oh, okay.
She's the mouthpiece of Santa.
Right.
And here's the
So
other
she's
thing.
like
Who's
Santa's
paying-
executive assistant?
And is she only writing letters to just this small community?
Yes.
It seems like that. She suggests that there are other people and that she has traveled and lived in other countries.
She
where
went to
has-
Hong Kong.
Yep.
She did it in Hong Kong, but she seems not to be in the center of a major city. She seems to be, like you said, June, in Altadena, like a small suburb of a major city. So either Santa has a ton of kids that are all in small suburbs, or she's just really random.
Here's what I think we were supposed to understand. I mean, this movie is the female elf.
Yes,
right.
Because
I believe so.
When she says she has so many brothers and sisters, I think she's referring to all of
elves.
the elves. that
Yes,
Santa's
she's
working.
referring to the elves, but she's saying she herself, though, is not an elf because she's
too big.
She's too big, she says.
But
you know.
the elves don't come from Mrs. Claus's vagina, right?
Okay,
Hold
now this
on,
is
wait.
interesting. Where do you think
Yes.
they come from, Jess?
I thought they were just a magical race of people. I didn't think they were Santa's kids.
I agree with you, Jess. I agree with you,
Why
Jess.
does Santa, a full-grown
totally-
man who's actually like quite big, why is he popping
Well, hold
out?
on. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, he's like a large man.
He
I
doesn't
don't
look
know.
like an elf, is what
He
she's
doesn't
saying.
look like an elf. There's nothing
Okay.
elf-like about him. He's a
So-
man.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is he employing them, or has he like
Well,
what's
that's
like?
the
I'd
whole-
love to know what the
I think
situation
it's
is.
sort of an
That's the whole
internship.
Oompa Loompa. That's the whole Oompa Loompa controversy. You know,
Yep.
are
Yeah.
they being
Well,
employed?
here's
are
what
they
I'll
being
say.
Paid? Is there health care?
Yeah,
I saw
Is
Wicked.
there a stipend?
I
Does
saw
SAG-
Wicked, and I was upset when I saw Wicked that the Munchkins were normal sized people, and that what I understood it to be was that when they made Wizard of Oz the film, they made that choice to have people that were about the same size as Dorothy. But in the book, the original book, they're just supposed to be like 5 foot tall. So maybe elves. We've been fed a bag of bull. Maybe elves are normal sized people.
Well,
I don't
she
know.
seems to say that she has like an uncountable number of siblings, you know. So does that mean, in fact, that she is Santa Claus's daughter by the old fashioned method? Are the rest of her siblings, or are these her? She's calling them
Like
siblings.
fake brothers and sisters.
I'd love
gonna
to
tell-
know.
I think
I'd love to know how many babies have exited, to St. Clair's point, Mrs. Claus's vagina.
Well,
I'm
by
gonna-
the way, if she is
Yeah, I
Santa's
wanna know.
daughter,
Yeah.
Santa's old enough to be her grandfather. So
Oh.
then, and also
Al
as is
Pacino. Al
Mrs.
Pacino
Claus.
just had a daughter.
That's fine, Jessica,
baby.
but
He's
so is
83.
Miss. But so is Mrs.
Ragman.
Claus.
I think he played the
But
Ragman.
I would believe you if
So is
there was a
Mrs.
moment.
Claus. You're
So is
absolutely
Mrs.
right.
Claus.
He-
I would
it-
believe you if you told me that these people were all 500 years old.
The only
Like, I don't know
kid-
what time means to any of these people.
The only kid I know
Hold
for
on one
sure that Santa has had is Fred Claus, which is I think Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
I believe Fred Claus and his brother. Fred Claus is the only Santa.
Isn't there a movie where Anna Kendrick is Santa's sister?
Noel, that's Noel.
Okay.
So yeah, Noel Claus. I think that is also a child.
Buddy is not Santa's. Buddy
Is an elf.
No, Buddy,
is a human.
Buddy is a human who gets into he gets
adopted
taken
by an elf.
back. He gets
Got it.
taking back by accident. Isn't that right?
That's
Yes,
right.
he crawls into
he's
Santa's
a
bag.
baby.
Now I
Yes,
am
that's
reading
right.
here
He's an
on
orphan.
online, and now with the AI generated answers, we're going to get some great things. It says that elves grow up all around the world, and when they turn 150, they are allowed to write Santa and say, "May I become an elf?" And then Santa will say, "Okay, yes, you're accepted to Elf College." They complete the required courses, and then they start working at the North Pole. That's what one account says. Another account says that the elves are raised in a secret location at the North Pole.
No, that doesn't sound right.
This sounds
I don't want you
bleak.
doing any more research.
That sounds disturbing, and I don't know who's giving. But regardless,
I think the movie is telling us that Santa, in the world of the movie, Santa is Christie's
father.
Yeah,
100%.
Mrs. Claus. I told Paul, but I read a really funny tweet the other day saying, like, I will know that feminism has been successful when Mrs. Claus gets a first name. And it really made me laugh. But anyway, I think that...
Well, let's start it. Can we start trying to, what would we like it to be?
That's such a good question.
I mean, like, let's dig into it.
Sandy Claus.
Sandy Claus.
Sandy and Santa.
Sandy and Santa. That's
Sandy and Santa.
Chrissy. I think Chrissy is good. Chrissy Claus.
Chrissy Claus.
Santa Claus and Chrissy Claus.
That's a fun
I want
couple.
something more kind of like Nordic, like Santa, like
Guys,
something.
do you know about the Santa Claus couple in Los Angeles? I was at, I believe, like a cheesecake factory, and I saw a couple that looked exactly like Santa and Mrs. Claus. They were dressed in their outfits, and I mean real beard, the whole thing. And so the server said to me, of course, I got into it with her Small Talk, The Art of Small Talk. You can get it on Spotify or wherever.
It's a great book.
Download audiobooks. But she said this couple just happens to look exactly like Santa and Mrs. Claus. And during the Christmas season, they go out to eat as much as they can to act like they're just, that kids are seeing Santa in the wild.
Whoa!
Oh, I love that.
That's
and it's
awesome.
like, so for the month of
That's
December,
off.
they're just everywhere.
How about
they
this?
It's a little
do-
strange because
and they
he
hand
should be
out-
at the North Pole.
And
Right,
they
this
hand
is
out they hand out paperwork for their OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I just looked on some Icelandic
Gross.
names here. There's some good names for women. Sasa Claus.
That's interesting.
Oh, that's
Sigrid
nice. Someone in the
Claus?
chat, they said
Sigrid.
Gladys or Olga.
I saw one that
Claus?
was, I liked Martha Claus.
I like that too.
I mean,
you
these
also
are
have
all
Siri.
old fashioned.
Siri Claus.
Oh, brother.
It is a name. We will figure it out. But I did type in before that the Santa fuck.
I did. Oh, wait, what now?
I typed in the Santa fuck because I don't know.
Wish you hadn't
What?
Yes, I want to know. I want to know.
There. Well, what came up was
Paul.
there are Santa.
Paul, though. Paul.
There is
Paul.
There is. But there is a Santa fetish, but people are confused because he has no zipper on his pants.
Oh, now that's interesting.
Well, he's got suspenders on, so I
Yeah.
assume those just come down.
Okay.
Plus he's
I don't
moving
wanna
so
think about
quickly. Oh yeah, he's moving so quickly through such cold air. The zipper would just be too drafty. That makes sense to me.
That makes sense.
People
to me too.
argue that
They're like
Santa
long
is the
johns.
ultimate daddy dom.
Whoa!
Stop. Is this
Absolutely.
from the chat? Or are you just still online?
He's
Stop,
kind.
Get offline.
He's kind.
You told
yet
us to put our
firm,
computers on Do Not
soft,
Disturb,
yet
and then you're
strong,
out there.
capable.
Santa is a power top.
This is ADHD at his best.
Daddy
he
Dom.
can't stop himself.
Daddy Dom. By the way, maybe the shirt is just Santa Claus. It just says Daddy Dom on it.
Nobody's.
No.
But
Nobody's
but
gonna
it's
buy it.
here's the thing. But it's Dominic Toretto's face.
That's what I was gonna say. Yep, there it is.
Oh,
Well,
disgusting.
And they
Okay,
say he okay. Right, there it is.
please
All
get
I'm
back
gonna
to the movie.
I will say this. This
it's
movie.
like I want to get back to the movie, and I don't. I want to stay here with
This movie
Sigrid.
gave me, and I wrote this down right away. I'm incredibly impressed by the Postal Service. Like watching the mail go through slots. I felt like I was a kid watching like Sesame
what?
Street. I was like, wow.
I
this
would
is-
totally. I was feeling that too. Like if we could spend more time seeing someone, what I would have loved as an opening is really seeing the same letter go through
Yes.
the process.
That would have been
Follow
nice.
it into that thing. Let's go down.
And why
there.
can't
Let's see
it be
what they pick
Emily's
up.
letter?
Because
Let it be
they
Emily's
didn't have
letter.
access. All they had was B-roll. Here's
Yes.
the question, Paul. This is the question for you. Are they shooting in front of a green screen? Did they have
Yes.
that technology?
So-
Sometimes.
Because it was very upsetting.
Here's the thing. I thought that same thing too. I believe they're just backlit because every time I'm like, oh, that's a green screen, they would walk backwards into like a full
Really?
set.
Yeah.
Yes. So like when they're in that place, they walk backwards into it. So I think the lighting is just. I think they're silhouetted too weirdly because they
That's
also have
insane.
that green screen effect in his house. There's no reason to have the green screen in his house.
Well, never forget the VFX I really want to talk about is during the cookie decorating scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when the
Oh, I got that.
sprinkles, when things get crazy.
That's
Can we play the
not
sprinkles
necessary.
fight? Let's play the sprinkles fight. That's clip 9.
Now, again, this is 2010, so they didn't have access to a lot of.
I'm working on.
How's that secret
Yeah.
project going?
But why did they need it?
No one seems to like Uncle Matt very
This
much.
girl I got to talk about.
Is she?
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
are there powers at play
You
here?
look really cool. With some green sparkles on you.
Oh boy. Food fight.
Is
They
this
also-
because they could only do one take? Is my
I-
question. Is like they couldn't clean it up?
Better as a redhead.
I think you're right because they also it's not fun the way they're dropping sprinkles on people. Like it seems like it's like they're not throwing it. It's like they're
What do you
jumping
mean? They're
it.
smiling and laughing so much. It looks like so much fun.
I
get
really
cut.
Even
think
getting in on it.
I really
He's getting
think
in on
they
it,
didn't
too.
have the time in their limited schedule and budget to reset the hair. You
I
know,
think
so
you're
they
right.
were like, we have to just. But
Wow.
why they would choose the one thing they can do practically is that. And
Why they put
yeah,
in
it's
some?
like,
Because I bet
let's
you it's not
just-
showing up on camera.
No, but then let's
find
throw
something else to
icing
do.
at each other.
Well,
let's
something else.
They
make
can't
little
pencil.
balls of dough and throw it at each other.
They're really struggling here because they're also like they can't light anything. Every scene has to take place in the middle of the day. Like they don't have the ability to do anything in service of
Jason.
making this make sense. I think.
Jason, when
Yes.
I could not. First of all, there's a lot we need to talk about with Matt and Heather. Like, why aren't Matt and Heather together? That's a question.
They have
Okay.
great
Put over
chemistry.
there. Put that over there for a second.
Who is Carlos? Who is Carlos?
Wait, who's Carlos? But really,
Carlos is in the
is
band,
Carlos?
right? Isn't Carlos in the band?
Carlos is in the band.
I believe Carlos is Heather's boyfriend, and that's why they keep mentioning him. But boy, did I think Carlos was going to arrive at some point because he's talked about quite a bit.
Well,
Carlos is the one who's doing scales, who's like la
my
la
God.
la la
That-
la.
That
They
band
I hate
sounded
that
so
band.
terrible.
Terrible.
I hate that band.
Terrible.
in the band, right? She's like the band's like spiritual leader.
No,
Does the
she's
band
in
have a
band
name?
dress. She's in the band.
No, she's not in the band.
No,
She's the
she's in
band
the band.
manager.
No, she's in the band.
She helps them like relax.
She's like the
helps them
Metallica
relax.
doctor.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought. Some kind of monster. She's
Yeah.
like, she's there to help them relax.
It was. I agree with you though, June. It was cryptic because I thought she was within the band as well, but she is able to leave so easily. And it's this thing where they want you to think that, or they want to give Christy North a reason to think, oh no, Mailman Matt might be married because he's gotten Heather to come and help him with Emily.
But what a terrible plan. Like, because she gets confused. She's like, oh, he asked her to meet her at the park. You wouldn't ask your wife to also be at.
No.
It's like
Also,
she doesn't
don't
put it together.
introduce your daughter to a woman you do not know.
Well, it's
Oh,
not
really?
his daughter, and he makes that very clear.
Why
This
don't
is
you
not his
not-
daughter?
Can you imagine if you were in charge of a child that you were like, and tonight a woman you just met is gonna tuck you in? That's a fucking horror movie.
And by the way, I have so many questions about.
But that kid wanted to get him laid. She was ready to go to 10.
I
She was
wanted
like-
the movie. I wanted the movie to be about Mailman Matt fucking Mrs. Johnson so hard. I
But
wanted.
she was-
I wanted the triangle to be Christy North, Mrs. Johnson, and Matt.
Because she was hot to go. Mrs. Johansson was hot.
Johnson.
She was Johnson, whatever her name was. She was ready to get.
She was ready for it because it felt like she was in on it. And
Wow.
Matt wasn't. Matt didn't know what was up, but she felt like she was like, yeah, I'll fuck this guy.
Oh, she was wearing her sexy turtleneck. She was like ready to go.
Yeah.
And they put on
loved
that
her.
sex. And, I thought that this movie robbed us of the awkwardness of the scene. Like, they basically put them at the table and then hard cut to him, like, washing dishes. And I'm like, give us something. Give us a little bit of something. But I felt like they were nervous because they also knew that their audience for this movie are older women. So they didn't want to, like, go too hard on, like, older women.
They did a number on older and single women on this movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they held. I don't think they held back.
Oh,
Here's
the
my
single
question
parent
for
support
Matt.
group?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
single parent support group. Here's my question for Matt, and I guess a PSA: like, if a child who's lost both parents in a devastating, I guess, car accident. I don't think it's ever explicitly said.
I don't think
Some
Matt
sort
even
of-
knows.
Some sort of sudden death. This 9-year-old child. And she asks, if I talk to my parents, can they hear me? The
I mean,
answer is
wild.
yes.
Yes.
The answer is unequivocally
Agreed. He's like, that's a tough one.
It's not a tough one.
No. Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Well, here's the
fact
thing.
that it threw him for such a loop that
Like,
he
you
had
haven't
to call
talked
Heather.
about this? Like,
he's a
it's
mess.
wild.
He is a mess.
He's
He
written
also-
to be. He's old, but he seems written to be like 19 years old, like truly clueless.
When he talks about the will, he says this thing that shook me to my core because he's like a dramatic scene. He's like, when my sister and husband died, in their will they said, "I was the best uncle ever," and that's why I have this kid. It's like, I don't think they put like best uncle ever in the. It's not like a Hallmark card. It's not like they didn't give him a mug. Like and be like, it's like like for him, it also felt like he was bragging. It's like, yeah, I was the best uncle ever. So I got the kid.
He just seemed so depressed.
Oh,
so much
yeah.
so. He really he bummed me out. I will say the actress who played Christy Holiday or Noelle, what
she
was her
was a
last
breath
name?
of fresh air.
North.
She was
Christy
a
North.
breath of fresh.
She's
Terrific.
a star.
Loved her.
She was
I
fantastic.
found her to be endlessly watchable.
That's Ashley Scott, by the way.
And she was great
Wow.
and incredibly watchable, playing a character that is not of this of the world of the movie. The rest of the people are trying to be like in the real world, and she is this heightened, magical kind of from a magical world kind of person, and doing incredible job in and amongst everybody else doing what is bizarre.
And-
just like, go ahead.
I wish they
And
had
for you,
given her
if-
more physical comedy so we could really see what Christy North is made of.
For you video game nerds out there, she is the motion capture and voice in The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 of Maria Miller.
Oh, good for her. She's one to watch.
She certainly is. I did think to myself, Jason, that when she let that pigeon land on her, I thought, boy, this is a role that if Jason had been offered it and they said, you're going to do bird work,
Same, Jason.
you're going to have a
Absolutely
couple
not.
days with
Pass.
a trained bird.
This movie did not have a day. This movie did not have a couple
industry
days.
is collapsing, even if there's nothing on the horizon.
You would never do
I'm
bird
not-
work.
I'm
You
not a
guys
good
would
enough
never do
actor.
bird-
I'm not a good enough actor because the minute the bird came close to me, I would smash it to the ground. My instincts would take over and I would destroy the bird. I would have to. That's the only answer. I would
this is the
grab
other
it,
thing.
slam it.
I don't know why.
slam.
Me too. I don't know why
Travis
in
Kelce,
movies
touchdown.
they have. I don't know why.
Wait a
in
second. Wait, hold on, Jess. Hold on. Stop
Travis
it.
hold on. Back it up. Back it up.
Travis
That's what he does, right?
Kelce,
Travis Kelce,
touchdown.
Touchdown. Bird touchdown. He does touchdowns, right?
Yeah, that is a thing.
Absolutely does.
I
So
mean,
stop fucking laughing.
well, I mean, it's not.
Kelce touchdown.
Touchdown.
I mean, I think
That's
this
a
is maybe Travis Kelce touchdown throwing a bird. Okay.
I kind of love that.
Here's the thing, though, Jason. Here's what I agree with you about. If I'm writing a movie and if I want to get across this scene where we really get to see how magical she is, that she can speak to humans and creatures and
But yet she can't speak to a dog.
That's interesting.
Oh,
She
her
does-
dog
why
Rudy?
isn't Rudy on a leash?
Oh, this is another. This
Here's
is
one.
another.
Favorite
By the way, this
questions
is another
about Rudy.
trigger for June. But we continue, June.
It is.
Yeah, if she's
But-
magical.
But my question is, because I've seen this a few times in these types of movies. Jason, we lost you. There he is. But when they want to do this type of scene, they'll put a pigeon on a hand.
Give
And
me a
to
bluebird.
I'm
Isn't there a
give
trained
me
bluebird? We
canary-
can
This is a Mar Vista production.
I
They're not
know,
getting
but
bluebirds.
Paul,
They're literally taking that
pigeons
bird
are
out of a
fucking
tree.
flying rats, and we all know it.
I know.
And if a pigeon comes near any of us, we will kill it. Travis Kelce, touchdown.
Travis Kelce, touchdown. Go birds.
What was so terrible too
Fly,
is that
Eagles, fly.
Heather, God bless, who also really did sparkle on the screen, she brings a child over. You think you see a crazy woman with a pigeon on her hand, you're gonna go, hey, can I let my kid touch your pigeon? That's like bird flu for everybody.
Very strange.
Suspect.
And Heather, I
Suspect.
have to say, I thought the actress did a great job, but I couldn't make heads or tails of what her
MO
storyline
was.
It just seemed like everyone wanted to get Matt laid. And like, cause at one point Heather's like,
too.
she's like, you don't have to be a good parent. Just play your guitar, go play video games. Don't worry about this kid. If you're like, everyone was like, don't worry about this kid. You're taking this responsibility too hard. It's like,
Wait,
she's a
but can I add-
child.
He has to worry about this kid. It's his
He
legal
has
responsibility.
to.
He
Yes.
must. But the decision at the end, which I guess we're all supposed to be rooting for, is that he does yank her out of school.
I really
And
think it's a mistake.
He does yank her out of school, and he does start her on like a bit of a carny childhood.
I don't think that the Yellow Muse. I don't think the Yellow Muse is going to have too many tours in their future.
Is that what the band's
I don't think the
name of the
audience.
band?
Oh yeah, that's from Chelsea Downey in the chat. She saw that Yellow Muse is the only poster on the wall. So the Yellow Muse. I don't think the Yellow
Speaking of
Muse.
posters. If we're going to talk about posters and background scenery, I must spend a little bit of time on when we are with Mr. Fuller, the U.S.
I
Postal
called for this.
General.
I think.
Okay.
Tell me what you think it is,
Well-
because I called for one.
I'll just continue talking then. The poster is a warning poster for male drivers, and it says something along the lines of like, could this happen to you? And it's a poster of a mail truck that has fallen into, good.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Fallen into a body of water. But I did pause it right here and looked at that body of water, and I was like, is that a pool?
Yeah.
Is that a...
I'll tell you what.
This happen
What
to
could
you?
it be?
I
What is
also
that
paused
water?
it. I also paused it and I have a theory on it. This is a mail carrier, who's decided I need to deliver the mail. I'm going to drive through that puddle. It doesn't look too deep. And then
puddle?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's what I
That's
want.
one of those
like a
deceiving
sinkhole.
puddles.
That's
Yeah.
like a sinkhole scenario.
Here's what I'll say about what you're showing me right here is this
So
image.
aqua.
This image is what a tease, because up in the upper right hand corner it says Gilmore the Merrier Binge-a-thon, which just tells me that there's about to be a Gilmore Girls marathon, which I would so much rather be watching than this absolute.
I know. I'm in the middle of season 3, by the way, Jason. Rewatch. Rewatch.
Just finished season 6. Season 6 rewatch. Bow, 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 bow.
Now,
Oh God.
I will say
Yes,
that I think
the guy in this poster drowned.
But what is it? What
so
is
many
he
mailmen
in?
drown.
But what is
Oh,
he
that-
in? Is that
that's
just like
like a
the
pond.
Bahamas?
That's like a pond.
Have you ever
It's
seen
very
a pond
clear.
with that?
It's very clear. It's a bog.
Awfully clear.
I think he's driving through a large puddle, but he misjudged it. He's like, oh, that's just gonna be a small puddle. You never drive through a
But
puddle
what
with
are
your
you
car.
saying it turns into? That's not a puddle.
That's a puddle.
Okay. Moving on, Paul. I'm not even going to dignify that. One thing I laughed so hard about was when we first meet Matt, we can see pretty clearly that he's wearing like a number of bracelets.
Yes.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yeah.
what's this all about? Like, what's this stacking all about?
Yep.
These beads.
Well, because it's so interesting because it takes so long for the other character to say, just give her some of that rock and roll. And I was like, wait, what? And then like
you
they
got
don't
back to the bracelets.
Yeah, that's what it was. The
And-
bracelets are
And June, I thought about you too while watching because of his bangs. They're so strange. They go up. It's like a bang should be.
Really tough time with his hair.
It was like someone had stuck like a pitchfork just in the front.
you
But
know-
that was to show us that he had a bit of rock and roll in him, I think.
It was, and he had a lot of gel and like a lot of like this piece is going to go that way and this one's going to go.
But this-
the troubling thing was his sides were too long. I don't want to
Well,
get into
I'll be
That's
honest. The real troubling thing when rock and roll became rock and roll, when they start to do the rock and roll performance, is the movie just starts drowning in fedoras. Everybody on screen is somehow immediately wearing a fedora. Which I was like, no, this
What happened to you?
now I double know this band is terrible because it's
fedora.
fedora based.
The minute he put on that fedora, I lost all respect for him as a musician. And I'm so
for Yellow
sorry.
Muse. Yellow Muse is good to get rid of this fedora wearing douche.
Well,
And
God,
Child Protective Services, let me just get this out, needs to take Emily away.
Oh,
They need to be
1,000%.
called.
1,000%.
Heather should be like,
He tells his daughter calls him and goes, Dad, how do I turn on the gas stove? Like the daughter's basically saying gas is leaking into the house. And then it seems like he takes about 45 minutes to get there. Why don't you stay on the phone and be like, get out of the house, turn it off.
Okay. I love when he is taking that phone call, he's like, hold on 1 second. Yeah. No, just give me 1 second. I'm like, I wanted to scream. Just tell her, like, turn it the fuck off. Turn it off. Whatever's on, turn it off.
Get out of the house.
Or run out.
But she was just messing with him to get him to come home because she was springing the Mrs. Johnson date on him, right?
Ruse. Yeah.
But it also seemed like, but what's so strange about that, now put it together timeline-wise. Okay. He's at work talking to Christy North, right? He gets a call that says, oh, I'm starting the stove from Emily. He races home and it's already dinner time. Like,
it seems like dinner time.
It's always time for dinner, and it's always time for lunch.
And it's always time for him to clean up. There were so
and
many
it's always sunlight. It's always daytime.
Of him toweling off a lasagna dish. I swear
By the
to God,
way,
that's why his life is so sad. He's constantly doing dishes.
He's constantly eating food. He has no sense of time. I want to show that.
It really was sad dad. Sad
dad energy.
Can I show you? This is picture number 2. This is his kitchen curtains. I think this is to keep out the light.
This
but
looks
here
like a sleeper cell.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. What is that?
Okay.
No.
The set designer needs to be killed.
That's where you put somebody in front of that to read a hostage note.
That's what I mean.
You could send this picture to Child Protective Services. They would take her away.
And the saddest thing is, like, those aren't even curtains. Like, that brown thing, the way it's billowing out at the bottom, like, I don't know
at the
what
top.
that fabric is.
At the top, it's just like on some string. It's on some loose string.
What are we hiding?
Oh,
what is on the other side of that window?
Bright daylight. Bright daylight.
Yes.
Oh God.
Matt's game is so sad though. When he is trying to, like, get things going with Christy, he first invites her to lunch, which I'm like, okay, and then he says it's going to be a picnic. I'm like, okay,
Great.
And then it's in the post office.
That's fucking weird. And why? All
You know
of
what's-
these things were backed up. It's like somebody would have an idea. Oh, we want to have this scene at the so let's back up the reality of what would he have to do to get her then to go outside. It's
Well, here's what was crazy to me is he asks her out. Nothing happens. She calls him and leaves him a message that says, you know what? I would like to do lunch. She makes an effort. He, the next day, just shows up in her office and is like, you ready for lunch? He's not called her back to confirm the plan. He's not reached out and gotten in touch. This is a movie that exists. It's 2010. There's almost never cell phone usage, almost at all.
Except when Santa calls her.
Except when Santa calls her.
And
But
she pops a squat when her dad calls her. She's walking
my
out and she's
God.
like, oh, well, time for a phone call. Let me put down my suitcase and take a seat. Like, she does not even understand the walk and talk of what cell phones are. I mean,
she doesn't seem to understand the world in a way that seems like Buddy the Elf doesn't understand the world, but she lives in the world for 2 months every year.
But she also doesn't have any of that fun of, I don't know. She has none of that elf quality. Like, ooh, what's that? She's decorated a
unfortunate is I
house.
think she could do that work. She wasn't really given the opportunity because she had the energy. She had the. I mean, I'm not going to compare her to Will Ferrell, but like she had a really.
spark.
Yeah, she had a sparkle to her, and I wanted some more.
But this is the
physical
issue
comedy.
This is what you get when you do this. When you make these movies where a character who's too innocent comes down, you can't have them in a romantic relationship because it feels like you're taking advantage of them. It's too awkward. Like I watched that Hot Frosty. It's like this guy is like a sentient snowman and he's so scared. And then like you don't want them to kiss. It's like he doesn't know what's going on.
Matt is so neutered that I could never think for one fucking second that he was taking advantage of her.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you this, June. When they have their fedora moment, and then it's so creepy that like the music comes on and like and here's what I don't want a guy ever to say to me, and maybe this is post-election, okay? Shh. Close your eyes. Don't fucking tell me. I don't know you.
Ever tell me.
I don't know you.
Ever tell me.
Well, you said
I'm eyes wide open.
Hey, Jess.
Yeah, you want me to burn your fucking house
It's
down?
not
Tell me
funny.
to shh.
Don't.
Okay.
Just for like a weird slow dance.
Me.
Don't You tell me to
don't
close my eyes,
ever.
I'm assuming I'm going to wake up, there's going to be a bunch of dogs in my face, and I'm going to have to push my way out.
Oh,
Much like
You're right.
I don't-
You're right.
Yay!
The thing that
Wow.
offended me, honestly, almost more, was the fact that they kept on using pastel colors in a Christmas movie.
Oh, wow.
Well,
That's been a thing for
what the
you
fuck
for a
are these-
long time.
What are these Easter colors doing in my Christmas movie? I'm seeing greens. At one point, I saw, I think, like an antenna with St. Patrick's Day clovers.
I think they have
I'm like,
one.
this is a
I think they have
Christmas
one
movie.
warehouse. I mean, I'm also just impressed that the kids in this movie have access to green and red envelopes. Like they have a. I mean, most kids just sending normal. It's like they're not getting red and green envelopes. I mean, our kids just sent them normal.
Stationary.
Now, I will say
Well, the
this.
other thing is this town is fielding entirely too many letters to Santa. There are too many children in this town, I believe.
And his daughter has no friends. She has no friends.
According to me, a childless man, Matt the mailman is collecting a volume of letters that the town simply cannot sustain. Otherwise, or this is a situation where the town is made entirely of children. It's one of those.
I am on the postmaster general or the head of the post office side. It is mucking up the works. I mean, it's too much. It's bags and bags of mail. It's like BTS moved to town. I mean, like there's one moment though I do love when she's going through the mail. This is the other friend. Was her name Sally?
Oh, Sally.
Sally, who was great. Love Sally. Sally is great. She like picks up a package and she's like, "Oh, from France. Bonjour." And I was like, but it's still in a USPS box. Like, so I was also like, wait, so France? Like someone got a USPS box and then sent but it's also like she's still enamored with mail, which is like
just
a lot
the
of people.
idea.
Well, that's why it's nice that she gets that promotion. I also felt, I mean, again, I'm coming from a lineage of postal workers.
I know
that
who you are. This is
Close your eyes, Jess, and remember
for
it.
you.
Don't you fucking tell me.
I'm going to tell you, so you will not come with me to that haunted house I go to where they put the blindfold on you.
That's me using that person's balls as a bag. Okay? But also, in the very beginning of the movie, he's struggling. We've all seen mail carriers. They've got a cart. He's having to carry all these packages on his and then stumble back to the truck. It's like that's just not how it goes.
Well,
He has no truck. He's just walking this town.
You know what? I'm with St. Clair. The authenticity of the mail service is being challenged in this movie.
Yes.
By the way, can I also show this clip? This is just an image that I caught. Image one. This is mailboxes in front of a mailbox, which really I enjoyed.
Incredible stuff. Yep.
What is that? Wait, what?
Just two mailboxes in front of a mailbox. They were like, I have more mailboxes. More.
When he puts that letter in his mouth, that's a crazy moment.
She puts it there.
She puts it there.
And
by the way,
he opens his mouth for it, Jason.
That is the most erotic
for
beat of the movie. That is the most sexual this movie will ever get.
Absolutely.
Why does she like him?
In terms of sexual innuendos, let me ask you this. When he's with his boss and he says, "I'm grooming you, Matt. You've been groomed, and I want to see myself in you." I really couldn't tell whether that was intended to be an innuendo because no one makes
the word
it wasn't.
I don't think so because I don't think the word grooming was being used that way in 20. I'm sure it was, but not the way that is so foregrounded now in 2010.
So it wasn't a joke to
I don't
say,
think this movie is smart
in
enough.
Me? You don't think that was just a mistake? They stumbled
Maybe.
upon this innuendo.
Well, I think it was an awkward thing, but no one reacted. Like if he went,
no one made a
"Ooh."
reaction. Ugh.
Yeah, if he went like that, then it's a joke.
Stop saying that. Yeah, but it didn't have the reaction.
I don't see me in you.
Well,
you will never see me in you.
The one question I had for Mr. Fuller, was if you're so against Christmas, if you're so against like all these letters and what it does to your system and how they can't be opened and opened letters per bag and unopened letters per bag, why are you wearing a Christmas tie?
No, that's that. I thought that too, and then I realized that's postal service ties.
I've never seen red as part of the postal service.
Postal service palette is blue and white.
Well, he also gives Matt a red tie when he gets the promotion. So that seems to be like some sort of like
red tie.
I don't know. I agree. Because he is
he's pulling
cast
down
as a
wreaths and
he's a Grinch. They call him the Grinch, you know.
Well, I mean, look, just because he cares about his job and he's, what I respect about him is Mail needs to get delivered.
This is a team sanity move right here. You respect the boss?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because the real letters that need to get out, the letters to family, the gifts to family, they need to get to the families. Who cares about these letters to Santa with these kids? I'm writing to my sister, my dear love, my sister. I'm saying I love you, and I wish to spend Christmas with you.
Our children are home too. Before you say anything about, you know what?
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Got it. We're not going to get into it.
And there's probably
I will say
children
this,
on the stream. There's probably tons of kids on the stream. I think
a lot of kids on the stream. Now, I'll tell you this much: don't watch Bad Santa with your kids. Here's
I'll tell you
the
what else. Old episode of Seinfeld just destroyed Santa in my house.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, not Bad Santa. Dear Santa is the one that we watched. That really was.
You never know; they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Wish, like this stuff about PG-13. I'm like, for all Christmas, like please put some warnings on.
Yeah,
Christmas
PGS, like
content.
PG, like we revealed the Santa myth.
Thank you.
I will tell you, I did pay for a person to write a letter to my kids from Santa, and they came from the North Pole. No big deal.
By the way,
your
check bounced. Your check.
Oh wait, come on, but yeah, I'm good for it. Just give me I need a penny more. A penny more.
I would love. By the way, I would love to write your kids Christmas notes from Santa. Please, that's a service I'm doing.
No thanks.
Go to hdtgminfo.com.
No thanks.
My favorite moment in this movie, and this goes back to what you were saying, like I can see myself inside you. I don't want to. You won't see me inside you. They don't really have like the fun, witty banter because at one point, when they're making the cookies. He goes, "Oh, I think I'm about to get schooled," and she goes, "You are about to get schooled."
They had
I was like, "Well, that's not a. You can't say that."
They had zero chemistry. And
Just
it
say
was
class is in
upsetting.
session.
Yeah, something. You wanted to
Yeah.
rewrite this movie, Paul. You almost want to take time away from your paying gives to rewrite this movie.
By the way, I'll tell you this:
some
our friend Danny Pellegrino, who does a great show about Bravo stuff, wrote a movie. Wrote a Christmas movie this year. He said it was a dream come true.
Oh, that's.
I still, we say it
love
every
Christmas
year.
movies.
I wish the four of us. I wish somebody would write a movie for the four of us.
People have
to do. Oh, I'm sure. Wait, they've written them?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I guess
you're
wait. Did
just
the offer go to
fielding them
someone
and
else?
reading
Why are you fielding them? Let's get them to Hallmark.
I believe it all went
Are
to
you
our
guys-
agents. I believe
Are
it
you
all
guys
went to our
doing it
agents.
with someone else?
No. It all went to our agents.
If I find somebody else playing me, I'm going to be so pissed because
You have a
Jude
great
said
part.
that-
You have a great part.
Jude said
You are called the seer. So you're blind in the movie. You're always wearing this. You're wearing like these dark goggles over your eyes, like a handkerchief over your eyes the entire movie. And you're blind, but you see so much.
Oh, I love that. By the way, I like that. And it's a post-apocalyptic Christmas where it's all trash can fires. By the way, this movie writes itself.
Honestly, I thought to myself today that when I was watching this, there was no stakes and no sizzle, no sizzle. I thought I'd almost prefer to watch a trash can fire. That's how it felt,
Wow.
like lacking in chutzpah.
And you know what my theory is, if I may?
Please.
I think that Matt, the actor, I
Was
think he had
sad.
more chemistry with Heather.
Yeah.
And I think that he was not comfortable playing a romantic lead opposite a woman who was taller than him. I've seen this
interesting.
dynamic play out a number of times.
Wow.
Yep.
That's because everybody's shorter than Jude and I. And we have to come up with some reason they don't seem too psyched to make out with us.
it is. I have seen this a number of times because men do not want to stand on a little apple box.
Ooh.
For those
Well,
scenes.
That's
And
why
there's a
Tom
couple
Cruise
of
wears
shots.
those gigantic lips.
Absolutely. There's some wide shots of the two of them. I don't know if you have this in any of your clips, Paul.
Sorry.
But
I
there's
noticed
some
that as
wide
well,
shots of the
Jude.
two of them where she's towering over him.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then there's some
Devouring him.
other coverage between them where the eye lines, she's looking almost directly up at him. And I'm like, you know that motherfucker's standing on a crate.
No, and we all have to. You know, I would happily stand on a 3/4 apple just to smooch Elizabeth Debicki.
Get up on that apple box.
I believe it's 6'2".
Well, that's a real man, Jason, by the way.
Oh, happily.
Hats
Let me stand on that apple box. I will bring my own apple box.
Men don't want to.
That's weird, man.
Really? Men don't want to get that sweet smoochie?
Men don't want to stand on apple boxes.
Oh, I'll bring my own
crew full of Teamsters. No, they don't.
I've got my own Smooch branded apple box that I bring to all my shoots for a classic smooch and shoot.
Smooch.
But I
Getting
think
high
that's
on a smooch box.
that was like, I think he didn't open himself up and let the chemistry like kind of play out.
Okay, well,
Wait
also
second,
a very.
Can I just say one thing? Jason and I wrote a pilot where we had to kiss each other, and we didn't realize that we was going to have to actually do it. And
we didn't have to just kiss each other. We had to like passionately make out.
Well, you wrote this, folks.
We wrote it, but then it was like a shock to us that this happened. First of all, we never thought it was
making
gonna
us do it.
Right before it happens, Jason goes, "I'm going dead inside," like that, and then kisses me. That's how he literally was like. I'm exiting my body right now.
It really wasn't out of body experience.
The worst thing that has happened
Well,
to either of us. But
Kiss and tell, Jess. Was it a good kiss? Was it a good
I don't know because we both had to exit our.
I can tell you that pilot did not get picked up to series.
Oh,
let me shoot some facts at you.
Inside.
Let me shoot some facts at you right here. Heather is played by Vanessa Lee Evigan, the daughter of Greg Evigan from My Two Dads.
Oh wow!
And she was
comfortable on a set. You could tell she was.
She is coming in at 5'7".
Okay.
And then we got Ashley Scott.
Totally nice height.
Ashley Scott.
She's
coming in at 5'9".
Yeah, that's
a
big.
big difference.
That's tall.
And
that's tall.
Matt, according to Google, 5'9".
That's not true.
Okay.
5'8".
That's not true.
At best. At best. 5'7.5", probably.
On a good day.
I'll write real height.
Why would the most of this show has just become Googling things. Well,
I will say this much.
We have become middle-aged people. This is middle-aged people.
An announcement about how we all had to turn off all of our notifications and phones and emails, and he's over there
Googling does Santa S.
All right, well, there's one website that says he's 5'8".
Okay. Okay.
We got lost 1 inch.
He's lying. He's lying, and that's fine.
And she's probably in heels.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So
but
that's 2 inches.
But I think that was a part of it because, and never forget, never forget
the makeover.
What happened? No, what happened with the platform Quibi?
Yeah. Quick Bites. Quibi stands for
Quibi. We're gonna have
Bites.
to cut this part, obviously, for the next part of the stream.
Scott,
on this stream,
cut
Scott, this is a cut point. But Meg Whitman towered over Jeffrey Katzenberg. Towered. Look at photos of the two of them. They're never standing next to each other. He's always sitting
Molly,
next to
get
her.
on that.
I'm watching currently.
He's always sitting next to her.
I'm currently watching the television show Billions, which is Giamatti and what's his name from Homeland. What's Damian Lewis?
Damian
Lewis is like the alpha of alpha males in this show, and in every scene,
and a ginger.
He's towering over every person. They frame him constantly like big, giant, but he's this big, and everybody in the show is a normal size. So the methods, there's moments where he's towering over a guy, but the guy is sitting. So what you realize is even though they're going to such lengths to it's absolutely mental. I'm obsessed with the show. Billions.
Fascinating.
Let me ask you this. Do we think that Zendaya is... I mean, she's taller than Tom Holland, right? Do we feel that?
For sure. Okay. For sure she is.
I think so.
They kind of pull it off.
They absolutely pull it off. And I think it's so awesome. I think it's very sexy when a man is with a taller woman. Very
what about that married couple, Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise? She's a little taller than Tom.
And that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Just
Are
call
they
them
still
the
together?
married couple? No,
are they still together? Paul, I believe they have split.
What?
The married couple?
No, they're going so strong. She was their high school crush.
Gross.
Oh my God.
I did see Tom Cruise from afar, and he was wearing a boot that had a heel.
Please, Molly, post this up.
This.
Molly has a picture that you need to see.
Let me see.
Hold on.
There they are. And that's why Quibi was destined to fail. Okay.
That's like
That is why
Gandalf. That's
Quibi-
Gandalf's. That's like Gandalf
to
sitting
fail.
next. It's Gandalf sitting next to Bilbo.
There's so many of these. They're never standing next to each other.
It's as if they're using forced perspective. Like that's crazy.
And even sitting down.
It's you know what it is.
Eat him.
It's the relative sizes of their heads.
Head. That's my point.
That's what it is.
He looks like a little shrunken
my.
This
head.
will all be cut, obviously.
Yes, we can
Yeah.
get back in at
will
this
all
point.
be cut. Yep.
Yeah. It's
Well,
like
I think that look.
her head is a grape and his is a raisin or something.
Wait, Jessica, Paul interrupted you very rudely. He gave
No,
you
I didn't say anything. No, I
What?
didn't say
You were
anything.
saying something. She
No,
was
I didn't say.
speaking. My
I
friend
wasn't
was
saying
speaking.
anything good. I wasn't saying anything good.
I didn't even remember.
Could we just
Yeah.
talk about the makeover that
Oh, yeah.
she's given in the bathroom?
In the bathroom at the
So-
post office.
I clocked again. This is what I mean. Like, they're obviously like, we have to have a makeover. Let's put her in a crazy outfit. Because at first I was like, this is one of the weirdest, ugliest outfits I've ever seen her wearing. It was a rugby shirt buttoned all the way to the collar, and then a scarf as a tie, and then a very unattractive.
When
cardi.
she unbuttoned her shirt to reveal yet another shirt underneath it, that's when I was like, oh, now I feel this is weird. She's wearing too many shirts.
The other thing that made me feel like the sexual chemistry was a problem for Christy North and Matt, and discomforting for him, is that she did have no sexual energy or no mature adult energy. She seemed such an innocent in the way that Buddy the Elf sometimes feels innocent.
Yeah.
So that also put me off.
Because he was so asexual to me and so post.
Even in the fedora?
He was in like male menopause. Like I was like, this guy's fucking gone. He's got no juices running through him anymore.
Wait, male menopause? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
wish it
but
was.
If it is,
I
he's-
wish it was.
I'm going
he's
through
in
male
the throes
menopause
of
right
it.
now.
You fuckers deserve it. I wish you went through male menopause.
He's in it. It's like things have dried up with Matt. And
Oh.
so that's why I never
Yeah.
felt like uncomfortable, because I was like, she's got more life force and vitality and like than in her fingertip than this guy does. Now it was definitely very like childlike and curious, but it just was so much more appealing that I never felt uncomfortable with the two of them. I was just like, I'd rather see her with Mr. Fuller.
Okay,
Oh, I would rather
no.
I want to see her like in a more natural. I want her to be like seeking something better, seeking something wonderful. Like Matt is going.
She's lived
nowhere.
in Tokyo.
Nowhere
You know what I mean?
fast.
She's been all over the world.
But what does
and
she
now
want?
she's
She
settled
doesn't
down
want.
with
She
him.
doesn't want for anything. What does she do for these other 10 months? That seems like she's a vacant. Like she seems like she goes into like a hole for 10 months. She's not living.
Yeah.
She goes
They're
back to
brothers
the
and
NP. She goes
I-
back to the NP and has
I
a
appreciate-
blast.
Yeah, well,
Well-
it's like that. It's like the people that live for summer camp. You know, those 2 months of summer camp. That's when they come alive. The rest of the year, they're just marking time.
All right. Well, then let me tell you what the internet. When you type in this movie, the internet, they have a darker reading of the
What
movie.
is so? Why are you? There's
This is
so
research.
much
This is research.
googling.
Oh, okay.
This is research. It says in the movie Christmas Mail, the ending sees the main character Christy North finally reconnecting with her estranged father, Tom,
Estranged.
after discovering
Tom?
a series of old letters that he wrote to her mother that were never delivered, revealing his deep love and regret for leaving them. This
Wait,
realization
no.
prompts Christy to reach out to him, leading to a heartwarming reunion on Christmas Eve, signifying the power of communication and the
Wait,
importance
no,
of family.
this is a different movie.
That's not
Paul.
this movie.
That's not
doesn't
this
happen.
movie.
Well, this is what the AI. This is what the AI is.
Stop talking about
Why
AI.
is
We
he
just
going
went on strike for fucking 8 months.
swear
and
to
you can't
God,
stop
Paul.
bringing up AI.
Oh, this is what AI is saying that the movie's about. But I also wanted to bring this up to say, is that maybe a more astute reading? Is
No,
she
there's
somebody?
nothing about that. There's
No,
nothing about
We have
it.
not seen her have
will
any magical
say-
powers. She has no magical powers.
She can talk to
can talk to
birds.
pigeons. Yeah.
Can she?
Can talk to
What did she do?
birds.
What did she say to that bird?
She said, how was
Also,
the
She
flight?
had a whole
Did you have any
conversation.
hidden
How was your
traffic?
flight?
Wh- Yeah, I talk to my dog all the time. Here's the thing: she can't talk to her dog, but she can talk to birds. We didn't get it. She didn't go, "Oh, I'll help you with your nest." We don't know that she just is a person who. Plenty of people talk to animals. Okay, I have 4 birds in my house. We talk to them all the time.
here's the
when
thing.
I was growing up.
When she
4
touched
birds.
that bird,
You had a bunch
I
of
just,
birds.
Yeah.
That's-
I had
chapter
giant
in your
birds.
book. Oh,
that's a
God,
reveal.
Paul.
It's not even in that. It's not even in the book. The birds aren't
It
even
was
in the
too
book.
sad.
wish-
They cut that chapter because it was too sad.
I wish I didn't know that. There's nothing more heartbreaking than being in a house full of things that deserve to be flying free.
I
Trapped.
can tell you guys.
Trapped animals.
Except once that little cage is open and those birds do get out, it's actually quite terrifying, and you want them back in their cage. So you also don't want to be in a house where the birds are flying free around the house.
Remember when I brought you home,
very-
June, and you got to sit? The guest room was by the bird room.
Guys, when I told
The
you
bird
I would-
room. The bird
No,
room.
It was a bird. It was a bird, like sort of.
We used to have a bird room.
And,
we used to have
I'm sorry.
a full.
Did you have an aviary in your room? In your
we
house?
we
Yeah.
we,
God,
we
yes.
used to have a whole in our
Yes.
first in the house I grew up in through high school. It was a specific bird room that played television for birds that they liked. We had certain VHS tapes for them.
You know, this bird, the main bird I saw and I knew, talked.
Sugar, yeah,
Sugar
and Gabby talked.
What did-
That's
what
the
did
whole
they
thing.
Say? What did they say?
What did Sugar say?
Sugar, one cracker.
No.
Oh,
I can't.
single Paul, single Paul.
And it was like, she was like, oh, you know, is he laughing? And then
And that was the only laughter that happened in your house was from a
and then-
bird.
and they'd also go like this, Paul.
Yep.
Paul.
It was so upsetting. It was so
that's
upsetting.
awful.
No, it's awful. And then
No.
I
awful.
would come out. I was brought home to this situation. I was brought to,
Oh my
to
God.
stay over this situation. Okay. And
You didn't run for
this
the fucking
cage-
hills, dude.
And it was also like, not only were they in a cage, but a lot of times there was a towel over them.
Yeah, to keep
Over
them
the
quiet.
cage, to
And we
keep
have to
them
put
quiet.
Tabasco sauce on the wall because they would eat the wall. I'll tell you this much.
Let me just
The-
say something, Paul.
Eat the wall? What do you
They
mean?
like-
Eat the wall?
They kind of like because they get their cage close to the wood.
Yes, Paul,
the wood.
because they wanted to get out. Because
These
they
weren't
needed to
Paul's
get
birds.
away.
He was doing the best he could.
Can I tell you the thing that's the most?
What do you mean it's not Paul's birds? They know his name.
But he wasn't the owner of these birds.
I'm gonna tell you the most disturbing fact about these birds. But
They
when
were like
we
his
moved in,
siblings.
when we moved in,
Much like Christy and those elves. These were the only siblings you had. You were different too, Paul. You were different because you didn't have feathers and a bucket beak. That
When
was
we
your
moved-
siblings had beaks, baby.
when we moved in, and this is before my mom got married to this gentleman, and before we moved in, I remember the first night there, the birds did imitate sex noises, and that was really disturbing to me.
What?
Wait, that must mean that they had heard the sex
Yeah.
noises.
And it was like this. It was really upsetting. My whole high school.
Wait, but did at any point in there did they say Paul?
No, that was a separate one. A separate one was Paul. Oh, it was
But
so-
I
sick.
would.
I feel
Let me tell
so
you,
sick.
I would. And you
feel
know, when you're at your new boyfriend's house and you're like, oh, I have to shower and I want to get ready and I want to, they've put out some towels and Paul's like, yeah, just go over to the bathroom. But I knew I had to walk past the birds. Or bird. It was only Sugar by the time I was there.
I would. By the way, June, I would not.
We
have
accidentally
lasted.
killed some birds because we left a pot on the stove, and
Not me. There's no blood on my hands.
Not on
and
my
what?
hands either.
The gas killed them?
No, like sometimes if you keep an empty pot on a stove, like it heats up the metal, and then the metal creates a fume, and then.
And then as Paul's grandmother was,
Canary in a
cut
coal
this
mine
part out,
type
of
of
course, but
scenario.
as Paul's grandmother was walking past the cage, she just heard thump. And the bird had passed. The bird.
No, June, wait,
Was
no,
there
you know
any
what that was?
foul play?
That was you scaring the bird. Wasn't that you scaring the bird?
No.
Oh.
I did scare the bird, but your grandmother saw the passing.
The clump. Yeah, the clumping.
This
yeah.
is so disturbing.
How this didn't make the book is shocking.
Isn't
I
that
really.
I mean, there's
There's a
so
lot
many
that
things that
didn't
did
get
not
in.
make the book.
There's
It's so
lot
there's
that didn't
sex,
get in.
there's sex,
Oh my
there's
God.
murder, there's all sorts of
and they loved
what a
loved Pee Wee
story.
Herman. They loved Pee Wee Herman, and they would watch Pee Wee Herman, and you have to put on because whenever they would hear the word of the day, they would go crazy, and all 6 of them would go. They all go
Wait, there were
nuts.
6 at one point. Jeez.
Yeah, there were
This is
6.
Birds?
This is the
2
heart of
biggies,
darkness.
and then 4 littles. There's a
Please
budgie,
just
and
know-
there's
just please know that you
Cockatoo.
walk into the house and there were also many chihuahuas. it was like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, like the noise.
The noise is pretty loud.
It was.
We get complaints from the neighbors.
Yeah. It was
I'm sure you
constant and at a pitch.
Because they were just they were screaming.
Screaming nonstop, unrelenting.
This is
until the
One time my mom took one of the
movie.
birds out of the cage and he bit her through the ear.
What? What? What on earth is happening? Why is most of this 80% of this episode is digesting the true nightmare of you living with 6 birds?
Yeah.
It's all
He's
to
an
prove my
amazing
point
man.
that
He's an amazing
birds
man.
live
all
a
to
long
prove
time.
to prove my point that a lot of people think they could talk to birds, but the birds aren't talking back.
Okay,
Christy
Paul,
ain't got
we're
no
sorry
magic.
that this triggered you so deeply. We didn't realize. We're sorry. We'll pay for the therapy or whatever kind of trauma work you have to do after seeing this movie.
Oh my Lord. So that's, I just wanted to put it out there. So we do believe that Christy North is truly Santa's daughter. She's not delusional.
They have a very special relationship. I did like her relationship with Santa. I loved how readily available
You liked
he
it?
was. I liked it how she was able to call him with all he has on his plate, especially around
He
Christmas.
supports
was
her
always
when
picking
she
up.
says she's not coming home. He's supportive and says,
He's
have a
excited
wonderful
about
Christmas. He's excited that she's with Matt the
he's like, failure
mailman.
to launch.
I mean, I would imagine at a certain point, he's also like, I'm psyched that you're not coming over for Christmas because I need to sleep.
I would love a remake of Failure to Launch, except it's Santa Claus's family is the family
They won't
trying.
get out. Yes.
Ay.
They won't get going. By the way, what's the band's name?
Yellow
Muse.
Why must they leave to start this tour on Christmas Eve?
They got a gig on Christmas Day, which is
Yeah,
a
'cause
strange
the Yellow-
time to have a show.
Here's the thing. It seems like Matt's been out of that band for a long time. And they're like, hey, we're on tour. He's like, all right, you'll slot right back in. It doesn't seem like they I
And it also
appreciate
seems
them.
like they fell apart without him. So how are they booking this tour?
Has
that
anybody
CEO?
replaced him? Has somebody replaced him? I would have loved to have gotten deeper into the band dynamics. I would love to have known more. I would love for our movie actually to be a Christmas movie about us as a Christmas band.
Wonderful.
Oh, I like that. Are we like more like the carolers, like you want to you go to Tam O'Shanter and they go around, they sing little songs for you like that,
We're walking around though and we're pickpockets. We're professional
Great.
pickpockets.
Ooh, I like
We're
this. All right, I'm writing this
Modern
down.
day Dickens, a modern
Yes.
day
Ooh, I
Dickens
like this.
story.
While we like
You're
like
the new
what?
Fagin?
Like what,
Yeah.
St. Clair? Like what Dickens stories do you think, Jess?
You know, all of them.
What's your
Different
favorite?
ones.
All
Great
the Dickens stories?
Expectations.
Great Expectations.
Brixton Road.
Brixton Roads. Yeah, the Life and Times.
Life and Times.
Tim?
The Life and Times of Tim, the HBO
Tim.
animated show that you were on.
Did you say Brixton Road?
Yeah, that's Brixton Road, your
did.
village. Brixton Road.
The Blenheim Street Bank and the book. Okay. Anyway, obviously we had opinions about this movie. There are people out there with a different opinion. It is now time for second opinions. We've had some great people send in their second opinion songs. They're on video. They're back to back to back. So let's watch them all down. Here you go.
The movie was a piece of shit, yet Santa recommends it. Second opinions on Amazon.
Perfect
Wonderful.
length.
Cute.
I won't watch a lot this Christmas.
Yes.
I'll have time for one movie. It won't be Elf or White Christmas or a Hallmark love story. I'll be watching Christmas Mail. Hope it's not a Christmas fail.
It is.
Let's not be too harsh. Guess that I'll just rate it 5 stars.
Beautiful.
Look at that
Yes.
red lip, June.
Beautiful.
This movie, and it made me scream and shout. I loved it, so I'm going online, let my opinions out. Oh yeah, I'm gonna write second opinion, gonna share thoughts on Amazon.
Took me a second. Got it now.
Gonna write
Yes.
Wonderful.
Abrupt ending. I love that guy.
Ooh, cute dog.
Woo! Always put a dog in.
For his boss, and we come to learn she can talk to birds, and her dad is Santa Claus.
Attracted to that guy. Okay.
And
moving
his
on.
dog.
Oh, I
And
love
his
that dog.
I love that dog. Oh!
Yay, Ben
Oh my
Lee.
God, Ben Lee.
Don't trust Grammarly for punctuation. Don't trust a surgeon to make incisions. Check out Amazon user reviews. Get a second opinion.
Oh, wow.
Second opinions. Second opinions.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
That's special.
That's very cool.
Ben Lee, the best. Do we have any Australians in the chat? Let us know. That's Ben Lee. Let me go through the order there. First, we have Sam Ortolano from the Action Jackson 5. He does the theme music for Last Looks. We have Jenny Fong Gova. We have Andrew Sanford, and then Daniel and Clive the dog. That was our second opinions. They were all great and short and fun. Sometimes I dread them, and these were great. I don't dread them, but sometimes I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
I don't dread them. I dread the length. I'm like,
Sometimes I hate them. Sometimes I hate them.
Paul,
And the
because
wonderful
I feel like I
They're
feel
just
like
to have fun.
I want them to have fun. I just want them to be a little shorter. And these people, they nailed it in every way. Christmas
Okay, Mr.
mail.
Fuller, go on.
We have to deliver the mail. Now, earlier in the show, I did promise that you'll hear from some real mail people. Now, obviously, Jessica, this is going to hit close to you because you have these connections.
Do you think we'll hear, Paul? Will we hear from the Rag Man at all?
Probably not. He's dead.
Asking for a friend.
I wouldn't say that. You know what? They'll come for you, Jason.
Wait, what do you mean?
If I just make a call.
Oh, you're gonna make a call?
Yeah.
To
Ragman
Rag
Jr.
Write a letter. or a
Ragman Jr.'s
postcard?
coming out.
Yeah.
To Little
Hey.
Rags? You're gonna write to Little Rags? Rag boy?
JC.
Oh my God.
Keep laughing.
By the way, I can't wait to hear from our postal workers because I do believe, and I want to hear from them, but I do believe that becoming a mail person is, I think it's a pretty good job, depending where you live, of course. Like you could be braving the elements, but I believe their pensions.
Good pension.
I think, yes.
Good
and
pension,
workday,
comfortable
like,
shoes. Sorry, comfortable shoes.
Comfortable shoes. So I want to hear more. Take a
Well,
sip.
you will hear more, June, because there are 412 total reviews. 77% of them are 5-star reviews. We'll just jump right in from this review in 2019 from Paul J. Snodicki, who says, current USPS workers, especially retired employees, will find this film very true to the workplace culture at the USPS.
What?
Also, anyone watching this feel-good Christmas film will enjoy it. 5 stars. And the title, USPS people will find this interesting.
Wow.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that there is a shred of authenticity inside of this movie.
We'll get to more of it in a second, but first we'll hear from Grandma of 9. Grandma of 9 titles her review, great movie for the Christmas holiday. It's dated 2014, and she writes, though most of our family usually keep Santa to the side and go for the original Christmas story, this movie was an exception. There is not the usual materialism involved, but rather character and right choices in a day-to-day life. It is a great little story, even if you don't believe in Santa. 5 stars. Grandma of 9 does not believe in Santa. Hey, Grandma, can we go over to your house? Well, we're not going to talk about Santa. I tell you that much.
Keep
That's
Santa
like when
out of it. You want a grandma who wants to keep Santa out of it.
I will tell you, that's like when I went over to my aunt's house and my aunt,
Screaming
my
right
aunt looked right at me and she said, "There is no Santa, only Jesus Christ."
Right now.
No,
Okay.
I lowered my voice.
Okay.
But did you write a Christmas letter to Jesus?
I did. He wrote me back. Said, send me some unbutton a couple buttons in the top there. I was like, all right.
Whoa. JC, what's up?
Tony wrote this in 2012. This was a Christmas present for my mom. She loves to watch Christmas movies. I haven't watched any of the movies that I bought off of Amazon for her, but she hasn't complained. 5 stars.
Huh.
All right. And then this one comes from J. Alec West, and it was written in 2015. And he writes this: I am a retired postal worker and thoroughly enjoyed this lighthearted Christmas time tale. Okay. It's playing on the TV now, and I just came to Amazon to buy the DVD so I could watch it again and again. By the way, regarding the postal manager featured in the film,
yes,
you might be surprised to learn that many postal managers in real life are just like that guy. I mean, not all, of course, but many. One suggestion: Post Office, a novel. That's for those who want to know what working at the post office is really like.
Oh, I will.
The novel was written in
office.
1971, but in most cases, it's not dated.
Post
Computerization.
office was like, I don't know. I thought it became self-funded like in the early 70s.
Well, this is just saying about the work. It says, it's not dated. Computerization and automation might be new, but the personalities are spot on. 5 stars.
Let's not forget, the phrase "going postal" was about like the post office shootings and workplace shootings that were happening.
Wow, way to bring it.
Yes, it's true.
The postal workers were overwhelmed and undervalued, and they would get fired, and they would come up and shoot up the place.
Well, now let's talk about the ending of this movie where they're able to.
And we have now just taken that in microcosm and expanded it to everywhere. We took something that was post office specific and said, what if we scaled this up? What if we made this available everywhere?
What if we took matters into our own hands? Well, guess what, people? This is a movie that takes matters into its own hands too, because they write the Postmaster General, who is just handwriting letters as well, handwrites a letter and is able to demote the manager to truck washer. Is that possible?
Well, Jessica,
and that other man, that man
of a
who
Postmaster
played
General.
Well, it was exciting when I saw the Postmaster General get, featured.
Did you get tingly like it might be your relative?
Might be maybe it was like a AI generated version of my grandfather. But first of all, he was in a very is there a Postmaster General of all of the United States? Because where he was looked very presidential.
There is.
That did not look like DC.
They're a part of the government, but they are also not. They're not tax funded, but they are a part of the government.
Well,
I feel like someone in the chat can tell us exactly.
Well, Louis DeJoy. Louis DeJoy is the
Texas.
Okay. The PGM is selected and appointed by the Board of Governors of the Postal Service, which is appointed by the president.
The board is appointed by the president?
Yes, the PG does not serve at the president's pleasure and could only be dismissed by the Board of Governors. The appointment of the Postmaster General does not require Senate confirmation. And the governors and Postmaster General elect the Deputy Postmaster General.
I just wish someone could give me another arm of the government like the post office, so I can try to wrap my mind around
what is this? What is
it?
What is this scam that we call the mail?
What is it, and why aren't they a functioning business if they are sort of self-funded by the stamps and packages?
Is the Postmaster General? Is the Postmaster General the same as the Surgeon General? Are they equivalent?
I think it's close, right? Yes.
Are they equivalent positions? Is the Surgeon General not serving at the pleasure of the president as well? I don't know. I bet there's a West Wing about both of these.
I mean, we can watch Investigators and find out. I mean, that's really what it's.
By the way, that's what we need to do for an episode of the show. We should do Investigators.
I mean, I'm down for this. I mean, yeah.
Well, listen, during the anthrax scare, I'm sure they were up against a lot. And I'm sure they are, finding things
So here it is. So the United States Postal Service is primarily funded through the revenue generated from selling stamps, products, and services, meaning it is considered self-funded and does not receive direct taxpayer dollars to cover its operating expenses. Essentially, people pay for postal services to keep the post office running. All right, so that is what's going on.
But what if that stopped? What if people stopped? I mean, I'm sure people have stopped mailing. That's what I'm saying. Stamps people don't mail stuff.
Well, what's happening is why they're running into problems is declining mail volume. And because they have to deliver to remote areas, things become less profitable. and private carriers like FedEx, UPS, they actually take away a lot of the mail. So like if Amazon did a deal with the post office, they could get more stuff out. But here's the thing: after the
I've fallen asleep. I am asleep.
I love that this has just become.
I am upright, but I am asleep.
I couldn't be more. I just woke up.
I couldn't be more
an explainer
bored.
podcast about the American Postal Service.
I still have questions, though.
I don't.
Now, here's what I'll tell you, though. The
Barely
United
talked
States
about the
Postal
movie.
Service.
We've
the
talked
United States-
exclusively about birds and the post office and not a second about the movie.
Back to
the
the
United
birds.
States-
That was fun.
The United States Postal Service has not covered its expenses and debt for how long?
I don't know, 20 years now?
Not when my grandfather
30?
was in charge.
15 years.
All right, he was dead by then.
Okay, so it's $6.5 billion last year. That was the debt. And they are, that was compared to a net
okay, by
income
the
of
way.
$56
It's just-
billion.
Listen,
They made $56 billion, and they were still in a $6.5 billion debt.
Well, someone needs to sharpen their pencils, but I don't care.
Doge, baby.
And please stop Googling things, Paul. I beg of you. Like,
I mean, this
like,
show is rapidly just
this is
becoming a Google
don't want
a series a series of
questions
Googles.
and having Paul Google the answer.
Yeah.
So weird. We are boomers.
It's embarrassing. It's
It
embarrassing.
really is. Well, I still don't have all the answers on the post office and
How about this?
and why. But I want, I think it still remains that to be a mail carrier is a good job. And I think that's great. I don't totally understand why the government's involved other than, mail-in ballots and stuff.
By the way, I'm just forgetting, we've been having so much fun talking about the U.S. Post Office.
I haven't. I haven't had one stitch of fun.
Have we?
Let's take some questions. I forgot about taking questions. Molly, are there any
Please.
questions up there? Some questions
Put me
here.
out of my misery.
Okay, so Robert Cullen Key wants to know, do you think that Christy North
Get rid
was
of it.
related to Rudy North? Get it out of here.
Get rid of it. That's a comedy Bang Bang reference. Get rid of it.
Next one. Christine Pagali says, does Santa own the USPS? Now,
that's
an
a good
interesting question.
Right,
Well,
because how did she get that job? It was interesting. She wrote a letter
said
and then someone
that your
selected
grandfather, Jessica,
Yeah.
Well, no,
was
'cause-
moved because his grandchild had been
Received a letter.
written back from Santa, and he was so moved that now is she paid? Does
But
she
that
get a
what? He
pension?
got her, but he contacted the North Pole and said,
he
could
said
you
this
come
is
down
this
and
is
work
going
for
to
us?
be a special operation, and this is it, and that's why Fuller was so nervous. What is she here for? What is she trying to do?
Right, he thought
Well,
she was a spy.
I mean,
Remember there are-
honestly, I don't want to get on Fuller's side, even though Paul is so pro Fuller.
Hey, I don't have feelings for Fuller.
No, you do. You're so into him. By the way, I think he might have only had the top row of his teeth redone. There was a whole. His teeth seemed too big.
We can't talk about
Move
this.
on. MoveOn.org.
Was this movie, in fact, funded by the USPS? I mean, I agree with that. Like, I thought it was. I thought this movie, the fact they got this much access to it, like, I don't know. I feel like they may have stolen that access. Or maybe, I don't know. Can you get cameras in there?
Because also, it was all those just like fake, like banners tacked up, on the walls. So
on
I
the
don't think-
on the exterior as well. I
Yeah.
was wondering, was this a situation where this was like shot in Canada and that's a Canadian mail facility or something like? It's clearly a mail facility, but like who had the access? Because
Maybe
they
an
seem to be able
abandoned
to-
one.
They had
Well,
the
I will
run
tell
of the
you
place.
though. I will tell you, I was shocked. One of the last times I was at the post office was getting our son's passport renewed, and we had to go back to the main facility area, the sorting facility for his picture, and I couldn't believe we were allowed back there.
You got access.
I couldn't believe it wasn't like a security issue. But it looked a lot like what the movie depicted. So
Yeah.
they must have just I guess what I'm saying is I don't think it was a factory or something.
No,
Like,
it wasn't a set. I think it was a
No.
mail.
I really
it
thought
was
it
a
was
mail
green
facility.
screen.
Like a mail
Because there's also sections that seem to the point of whoever said it seemed stolen in places. There are like forklift drivers. There's B-roll type footage that appears to be just a functioning
Yes.
postal
How
facility.
about when he rides up on that tricycle? How fucking weird was that?
Okay,
How
guys,
about-
I
let's
realized
try this.
I
Let me
realized
tell
I did not tell you something that's important.
Okay.
It better not be a Google.
Oh,
you
boy.
just did.
Googling up a storm. What
No,
did you
no, this
forget?
is about me.
Be present.
I'm not Googling. I'm just realizing I did it, and then I double checked. I responded to letters to Santa Claus from the United States Postal Service.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
So you can go on the United States Postal Service website and you can respond to letters from Santa. You can just accept
Letters
them
from
as
Santa or
to Santa. So I looked at my account. Then I did definitely respond to letters from kids a while ago.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Talking about.
Okay, so
I don't
there's
like
something.
I'm having a
I
panic.
don't like this at all.
All right, so there is something called the USPS Operation Santa, where you go online and you sign up for an account, and then you can read and adopt these letters to Santa. So you can read all these letters. Like, here's a letter right here, dear Santa.
You have to
I would
adopt the letters. You
well, you
adopt
could like
the
so
letters?
you adopt and you say I'm going to
So
respond.
you raise
to this.
those letters for the rest of their life.
You said $5 a month to these letters?
No, you, and that feeds them the whole year.
Yeah.
Like this one, I just want to open up right here. It says, because I went into my account, I'm able to read it right here. It says, I would like a beanbag, one talk from my. It says, dear Santa.
How do I don't have access to my Netflix. How do you have access to an account for Santa letters like so readily available?
Because I was remembering the other day, as we were talking, I was like, oh, I think I did this. And then
You think Christmas mail is about you? Like, I feel like this is like your true life story.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is Dear Santa, for Christmas, I wish for a Shark car wash, Hot Wheel track, a Nerf gun with extra bullets, remote-controlled shark, candy except for nuts or peanut butters, not allergy-related, Minion fart blaster gun, a bath bomb, green or blue, a new robe size 7, soft and cozy, maybe with Sonic the Hedgehog, and a
love this
Sonic
kid.
Chia the pet.
Oh,
I
wow.
love this. Is a great
wait,
list.
so
by
what
the way.
happens
And that's from
is-
Evan. He's 6.
He sends this list. His parents don't see it, and you're allowed to write to this child?
Yeah.
That sounds.
I don't know about
Do you have to do a background check?
Well, because you're signing up. You're not. You're acknowledging that you got this
about?
thing. And you can
Cut
shop.
and cut.
What?
And abort. Cut. It's a wrap. It's a wrap on this conversation. Okay, it is a wrap.
I'm not doing anything weird.
Paul, I don't know what this all is. I don't know what all is going on, but this conversation has.
If you are listening right now, the
Has
adoption ends on December 16th.
I also am. I'm sorry. I just remembered. I also am part of a service where I get letters to Santa Daddy, and I respond to the letters to Santa Daddy.
I'm just so concerned about what your algorithm is going to be serving up after some of the searches that you've.
Well, I just was saying
Or
because
like
I
if
thought
the
it was
police-
Search. This is his email.
Or if the police are going to arrive at your door.
you buy the
they
gifts. You
should.
buy the gifts. You do the shopping. You do the Santa shopping.
Okay,
And you- and how-
I'm getting
so how-
closer. So is this a charity?
No, it's the United States Postal Service Operation Santa.
Okay, I
So
think this
these
must be a
are-
charity
these
for
are
kids.
charity where
Okay,
kids-
okay. I'm
got it.
getting
That makes
closer
sense.
to. All right.
Okay, I thought you just like
It's a
randomly
charity.
write back to
It's
children.
charity.
I
That's a
see.
beautiful thing. Wonderful. It's an Amazon wish list. It's a beautiful
Well, it's
thing.
not Amazon. You gotta
That's
go
great.
find these things.
Paul, just it's,
Cut. Cut.
but it's great. It's a lovely
Cut.
thing you did.
It's done.
Next question,
And we're
Molly.
d-
What was
Dear
that about the red
Santa,
ties?
dear Santa Daddy, I want.
The budget for red ties.
you to sit on my
Great
face.
job,
So
Jacob.
many red ties.
So many red ties.
And then in every subsequent scene, Matt is wearing a different tie shirt color combination, which is also very bizarre. At one point, he's wearing like
Black.
a black shirt.
He's wearing
Like
all
I was
black.
like, has he done a heel turn? What's
What
going
do
on?
you do you think about his rock star look at the end when he had
Oh
his
my
legs
God.
up on the desk and his hair all gelled up? I didn't think he looked cool at all.
I don't like it.
I didn't like it either.
I loved that the tie was a clip-on. That made me laugh. I was like, we can't even. This is what a world these folks are living in.
What a
How about this?
world.
How about this? At the end of the movie, oh my God, at the end of the movie, when everybody has thought they've missed each other and Matt and nobody can get in touch because apparently there are no cell phones, even though we've seen them have cell phones. So Matt says to the woman who's now the head of the post office, he says, if she comes back next year, if Christy North comes back next year, give her these letters. Okay, great. It doesn't matter. Same day, they are able to find Christy North. By the way, Matt the mailman could have done the exact same search.
He doesn't try very hard. That is
she doesn't even leave town. She's still walking down the street in the smoke.
She's still walking around Stars Hollow.
And he's like, great, I'm going on tour. Bye.
Right. So she shows up and the woman gives her the letters, and his is like a folded up, like written on the back of a receipt, and his penmanship is that of an infant.
Thank you so much for pointing that out.
His letter,
big letters,
she should look at his letter and be like, oh, I made a mistake, toss it in the trash, and walk away and never look back.
Well, Paul's handwriting is very similar.
Whoa!
Blow up my spot. That's why I get the good Santa letters.
It's very Paul. I've come to know and love it, but it is a very, when I saw it, I was
childlike.
Like,
there's a lot of childlike wonder in it. Yeah.
People say I have amazing penmanship. A lot of people,
you do, and that penmanship was very clear. It's just not every day you see it from a grown man.
Yeah. Good schooling.
Oh.
Okay.
Were you ever taught to write in cursive, or?
Yeah, I can write in cursive.
Do you?
I can write circles around you.
Write your name. I haven't seen anything else.
I couldn't tell you the last time I wrote in cursive, if I'm being honest.
I almost exclusively write in cursive.
No,
that's what's so crazy to me. Like, why would you write in cursive?
Intelligence. It's a sign of great intelligence.
To write in cursive? No, it isn't.
Right. Is that right?
No, it's not a sign. No, it's not.
I
not
love
a sign
it.
at all.
It's so much easier. You don't have to lift up the pen. It's just a smooth.
Who has time to lift up a pen?
Not me.
I'm correct, right? There's a scene in this movie where Christy North shows her dog Rudy a sketch she's done of Matt.
Oh, what is that? She does
and says she says he's cute, right? Showing the dog the sketch.
When we know that she can't talk about it.
I assume she did.
I thought it was from
no,
Emily.
the kid did it. Emily did it.
No, it can't be from Emily because that looks like the work
Emily's
of
a
like someone on the Santa
prodigy.
Monica Pier would draw, like a caricature.
She's good.
That wasn't from Emily, was it?
I don't. Either way, it's crazy, and it makes
crazy.
Absolutely no sense.
It was nuts, and it's also like if that's Emily's work, then he needs to stop performing and get her to some sort
Why
of
doesn't she just make her posters?
For the arts.
Make posters. That's what she belongs. She belongs on the road.
How fucked up is
posters?
How fucked up is it that Matt never even finds out? We never even get to see from Matt the realization that this is Santa's daughter.
He doesn't
we
know.
don't know.
He doesn't know any of that.
It's never revealed at all, which is very
gives Emily
strange.
a wink. She gives Emily a winkaroo and
Oh,
says
yeah.
sometimes
And I
family
love
is
it,
closer
yeah.
than you think, which doesn't really make any
I don't
sense
know what
anyway
that means,
because
actually.
Santa's
that's
not close at all. He's in the
It
North
seems like
Pole.
a sequel for me. I'm excited for that sequel. Then you can bring Matt there.
Like a Meet
Matt.
the Fockers, like a Meet the Fockers, but it's.
They're
Santa.
making a new one.
The third
the
act of
Fockers?
the third act of the movie should have been on tour with Christy North making the posters. We get to see all of the songs. Because that's the other thing. We get the karaoke-esque scene where
exciting
Matt
scene
is
to me.
playing full guitar. It's the fedora scene, we call it. Matt's playing full guitar. There is a track that is every other instrument is playing. We have drums, we have bass, we have
I can't hear
everything.
anything. I can't hear the lyrics.
The daughter
It's
is
mixed
singing
very
into, this daughter is singing into not a microphone, but a water bottle, which is very strange.
And she has a terrible voice. Heather has a terrible voice, and Matt has a terrible voice.
Let's watch scene 10. Let's just end on scene 10
let's
here. Let's take a
watch
look.
Matt is an excellent guitar player. Voted best epic solo at the Starlight Lounge 4 years running.
That doesn't seem like something you brag about either.
40 minutes till Gilmore. 7:40 till Gilmore.
I wish.
I haven't played in such a long time.
This is a countdown to a marathon of Gilmore.
Working on something, please.
Yeah, Uncle Matt,
Uh.
please, please.
Oh, she's sassy.
Oh, God. Cue fedoras.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Who's playing drums?
Are we not supposed to be able to hear them singing?
I think they did the right choice.
God, These actresses do
They are
Lord's
singing into
work
water
there.
bottles. Those are water bottles. They are
Bedazzled water bottles.
Bedazzled water bottles.
She's wearing, I didn't realize she wore a fedora too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the fedora budget is off the charts.
She probably just borrowed one of his.
So much leather furniture.
See, already the chemistry between Matt and Heather is much
off
more
the charts.
electric. Yeah.
It was so good. I thought the movie was going to end with like, oh, Heather and she fall in love.
Yeah.
Because that's a family I could put together.
I agree, because Heather is, meanwhile, raising this little girl.
Yep.
Well, Heather just takes a flight to go meet him. I also just want to applaud Christy North in this. If you're not watching, if you're just listening to us talk about this, her face, her reactions, no one was on set, and she just gave it her all. I mean, she's so excited. Oh, by the way, that's one thing I wanted to bring up about this movie. This is a movie that if you are interested in cups having no beverages in them, this is rampant with it. People are drinking out of empty cups throughout this movie so much, it's upsetting to me.
If that's your thing.
If that's
this is the scene where these two sneak off so these guys can have a dance, and then they do one of these.
Ew.
Yes. I'm very clumsy, and I have 2 left feet.
Then you can.
That's a Dutch camera angle.
Just close your eyes.
No.
Ooh, I don't like this.
And just listen to the music, okay?
Nope, that means his dong is about to get put on your shoulder.
Yeah. She's so creepy. And that is the spirit of Christmas right there. Making a woman close their eyes and dancing with them, and then winking to your daughter like, I got this one.
Your niece, it's not his daughter, which he reminds us of
right.
many, many times.
Look at that.
Look at how much taller she is.
God.
Only see it in some shots.
It's so much touching, and
then she lowers down.
And
Look, she's towering over him. She has to lower her head.
Just lower, like a dog, like you lower the face. Sort of bow to you.
Would you recommend this movie, Jason, June, Jessica? What do you think?
I don't know.
I wish there were sex scenes in it, but absolutely I recommend it.
If you just want to do some research, honestly, if you're interested in the USPS like I am, then yeah, I say watch this movie because it does give you kind of behind the scenes look into what it's like to work there. I also by the way, all jokes aside, this isn't a bit. In all seriousness, we sent out our Christmas cards a few days ago. The next day, okay, and that was through USPS. The next day, I got texts from people, yes, in LA, but then the day after, people on the other coast saying I got the card. And I thought,
coast to coast.
Okay.
God bless America.
Wow.
Okay, post office. Okay.
Them.
So, I mean,
wow.
Despite the fact that the business of the post office seems to be running itself into the ground, they are able to deliver.
There it is. And we have one more question.
This is an episode that is just about the post office and the birds that Paul lived with. And I did Google it, and everybody that was on set the day that the pigeon was there got hepatitis C.
Molly, you have one more question, you said? No. Well, I'll tell you this much. The book, The Post Office, a novel, written by
a novel
Charles Bukowski.
Wait,
who
what?
was a postal worker?
There you go.
Okay.
Bukowski worked at the post.
So that is
Okay,
the
of
book that
course.
was recommended in the Amazon 5-star review. Right here, it's got a 4.3-star review. But Charles Bukowski, it's a classic book about his journey, his alter ego.
Molly, I have to wait. Paul, I
yeah.
have to ask. Molly has been saying that the budget for this movie was shocking. Do you know?
I don't believe Molly in this. Molly has a budget of this is $2.5 million. I don't believe that. There's no way. There's no way that there's no way on earth that this movie costs $2.5 million. No one.
Unless the multiple sources, she said, unless the Postal Service was, given a kickback to the mob or whatever.
What I have a feeling, unless the post office
on the screen.
Oh, okay. All right. So they were just paying off some like gambling
I don't
debts
know.
and stuff.
I just feel like
Okay.
sometimes
Had to
these
run
like,
through. It had to
yeah.
run through a budget and run through some books.
This is a
Okay.
laundering type of situation.
Look, the only way that I would believe this movie cost $2.5 million is if the U.S. Post Office funded it, because they seem to be losing so much money.
It's a bad business plan.
We want to talk about shirts really briefly. We got You've Got Christmas, Scranton Mob Mail, Call the Rag Man, Big Crone Energy, Sad Dad Energy, Daddy Dom, with Toretto's
Travis
face.
Kelce touchdown.
Touchdown.
Hiking a bird.
Travis Kelce.
We have male menopause as male MIMAIL menopause.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's a couple ones there. Molly, what it seems as people vote in the chat, I just want to bring up that How Did This Get Made is going on tour. We're going to be all around the country. We're going to be in Austin, Denver, Boise, Seattle, San Francisco, Portland, and Los Angeles. We're also doing a 3-night residency in LA in January, and we'll have dinosaur shows in LA and San Francisco. You can go to hdtgm.com right now for tickets. If you go on the tour tickets, use the pre-sale code bonkers, and the number one voted shirt is the Ragman. The Ragman of Scranton.
Is that an option? Okay, the Ragman.
The Ragman. Call the Ragman.
Wait, guys, that's a real person. We might want to not do that.
No,
I just typed in the Ragman. The Ragman does not pop up with anything too.
I am so worried that I have now unleashed, a lot of retribution against my family in Scranton. I'm very worried.
The Ragman is there's multiple people called the Ragman. Do we want to just have a picture of our lead guy in a fedora?
Great, great idea.
All right, so how about the Ragman in a fedora? Called the Ragman, and maybe you can make a memorial shirt to your grandfather. What was his name?
Thomas R. Quinn.
All right,
that
Thomas
was
R.
the
Quinn.
grandfather that named his cat after himself, June. That guy had yeah. Talk about
Thomas R.
ballsy move. Thomas R. Yeah, kitty cat is named after himself.
You two did an amazing special on Veeps, which we were on right now. Can people still watch it?
Absolutely. You can still buy tickets to the Deep Dive Christmas Spectacular. It's a Christmas show
fantastic.
that's all about all things Christmas that Jessica and I hosted, and it was absolutely wonderful, and it is still available to watch on demand if you go to either Veeps or the deepdiveacademy.com. Tickets are still on sale.
June, Paul does a 7-minute tour of his Christmas village, which is truly, if you thought the parrots were disturbing, the backstory of this Christmas village is even more disturbing.
Can whatever the T-shirt image is, in the upper right hand corner, can it have the countdown to the Gilmore Binge-a-thon? Can it just have the little text in a box?
By the way,
that
I
just
would
says,
do
countdown to Gilmore Binge-a-thon, 7 hours 40 minutes.
I almost feel like that should be a separate shirt, just the countdown to Gilmore Binge-a-thon. I think that's a great shirt. I would do both of
That's
those.
a great shirt. I'd wear that shirt.
We're gonna make 2 shirts. Jason, do you have anything you want to plug?
Oh no, just the tour.
Yeah, the tour is going to be great. We have some links in the chat right now, too, because some new exciting stuff is coming. There's some YouTube channels that are being built right now, so Molly will put them up in the chat. Also, my book is out there, and you can get an autographed copy of Podswag. But if you want to personalize...
Christmas present, great holiday present.
It was Vulture's one of the best books of 2024. Very honored to be on that list. People are calling this...
also, great audiobook. Great
thank you. Yes. We have some people to thank here tonight.
Speaking of another audiobook, Jessica has her audiobook, The Art of Small Talk.
She plugged it in the middle of the show. Great book.
I sure did. And
Maybe
great
you
book
could use another plug.
For those holiday parties.
Oh,
Great
I'll
tips.
plug
true.
I'll plug a great audiobook if you don't mind. It's called The Third Gilmore Girl, written by Kelly Bishop.
Oh, I can't wait. Did you read it already? You listened to it already?
I listened to the audiobook because she reads it, and I found out things that I did not know. Did you know she originated the role of Sheila in a chorus line, and it is based on her life, and she won a Tony Award for it.
What?
Wow.
God, we got to have a separate podcast all about that. That's amazing.
I want to give a shout out to so many people who helped put the show together tonight. Matt and Bart over at Veeps, we love them. Zach McAleese, the ghost of Craig T. Nelson, and Kyle Waldron, all that amazing art that you saw when the show was first starting, that is because of them. I also want to give a shout out once again to Avril Halley, who picks our movies, Found Christmas Mail. She is the best. We love Avril. Molly Reynolds, really just behind the scenes, killing it.
What's Avril's channel called?
Movie Bitches. You can follow her on Instagram. You can and you can watch her on YouTube at Movie Bitches. I also want to give a shout out to Cody Fisher, Scott Sani, Jess Cisneros, and our engineer Casey Holford. That is our entire crew. Everyone is working their ass off to get this up and out tomorrow afternoon. That's how quick we're doing the turnaround.
You know what I'd like to know? I'm looking at the chat right now. I'd love to know, what time is it where you are? What time? Who's up late? Who's up early? Where are you in the world watching this? I'm curious.
All right, let's see what's
it's going to take a second. It's going to take a second because there's a delay.
That's okay. That's okay. There's a little bit of delay there.
Okay,
but
it's 5 a.m. Someone said it's 5 a.m. here. Wow. They didn't say where they are, but it said 5 a.m.
Manchester, England, California, Melbourne, Hong Kong. Where Christy North spent some time.
By the way, if you have a correction and omission, you can send it to us at discord.gg/hdtgm. You can leave a message. You can whatever. We can talk about it. You can leave
Ooh, Paul froze.
Paul froze.
Ooh, Paul froze.
God, no.
Oh,
Paul
it's happening.
What do we do?
Go, go, go.
What do we do? Guys, it's up to us to wrap it up.
For so many people, it's 11:11 where you are. All you people who it's 11:11, make a wish.
I literally just, as I gesticulated, just knocked the cord right out of my computer. Saved it for the end. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you all buying a ticket for this, supporting the show. We've been doing this for 15 years. Jess, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
coming
having me.
out all the time. We love it. We love having you here. Deep dive, listen to it, love it. It's great. We'll talk to you all in the new year. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Happy holidays.
Bye, guys.
Yay.
Yay.
Schwarzenegger grow a baby in his belly, rock a rhinestone vest while ripping Justin to Kelly, or maybe see a burlesque show with Nick Crow and take a boat with speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul in the beautiful June, gonna take you from the goob all the way to the room. Ran the games of Street Fighter, helped to blow off steam, just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Sharknado, the birdemic, how we staying alive. They call it in the badass and he's on the line, cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice, cause a bad Jim Varney looking kind and nice. Paul and June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They judge a bunch of movies while they making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made?
Again, that's the ugly truth.
That's a good look, Haru.